Please note that the following views and the opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, YouTube.com, Free America Radio Network, our sponsors, our partners, and MFG is a private society, and nothing here is ever to be construed as hate, medical, nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on the RealPublicRadio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week on the RealPublicRadio.net, Free America Radio Network. Somewhere out there, it's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. Stand by for the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, and still time to call your friends. We'll be right back.
The missing dimension in world politics is the spiritual dimension. The problems of life cannot be solved by material means. Modern civilization is missing the point of life. Human life is meant for understanding spiritual values. Real knowledge is knowing yourself, what you are, what God is, and understanding your relationship and duty to God. It is our duty to understand God, abide by His laws, and learn to love Him. Then all of our problems will be solved. When men are not governed by God, they will be ruled by tyrants. The material world is just like a prison. The spirit soul is imprisoned in a material body which is imprisoned in the material world. We do not belong in this material world. We are spirit souls and belong to the spiritual world. Modern civilization is wrongly directed to the fulfillment of sense gratification, the basis of material life and a barrier to spiritual realization. The demonic believe that the enjoyment of the senses is the ultimate goal of life. However, it is not possible to become peaceful and happy in the attempt to gratify the temporary senses. The result is usually the opposite. A materialistic culture based on sense gratification agitates the mind and senses. Unless one controls the mind and senses, one cannot make any spiritual advancement. The great sages of all bona fide religions were completely free of material attachments because they knew that spirit is permanent while matter is temporary. Our present culture would have us debase ourselves and become more and more entangled in materialism, so that the path to the spiritual world is blocked. The demonic wish to make this planet a closed system where it cannot function for the purpose it was intended. The material world was created to give man the opportunity to purify himself of his material consciousness, for the aim of life is to go back home, back to God. The demonic cannot go back home until they rid themselves of their demonic mentality, and so they wish to make it impossible for anyone else to return home. This is the ultimate goal of psychological warfare, to entangle man in materialism so that he cannot return home, back to the Supreme Lord. Mind control in America. Break it.
And welcome to Forbidden History Live, the series on Ask Dezert-Owl and the Original Thought Transliteration Project, ladies and gentlemen. And if you get bumped from the program at all, then you just have to do a refresh. Okay, the atmosphere, for lack of a better word, there in Australia is not been conducive to our normal ability to broadcast, and so when at 9 a.m. Eastern time, we've been doing okay with our tests the last several times. So today we had a little difficulty at the beginning, but I just want to say if anybody gets bumped uh, because of a restart in the system or buffering on our end, then you just refresh, and that'll bring you back in. Okay, unless we get totally dropped, but usually there'll be a lot of buffering before that would happen, and you kind of realize that something's not going to be working right very quick or long. Okay, so we're working with the best we can. We experience the oppression of censorship and the inability to get the message out, which in its foundation is the love of our Redeemer, of our Maker, and to try to make it a better world for the few that we can reach and help in different ways. So hope you'll join us. Hope you'll tell other friends. And it's a challenging thing, to I probably well, later on when I do my screen share, I'll give you an example of somebody who puts nothing up. I think he has just 7 videos, and they're all on those esoteric, aliens and flat earth and all the things, and he's only got 7 videos up, and he's got like 14,000 subscribers. He only put up 7 videos, you know and so that's the difference between having an algorithm and having no algorithm and being oppressed with their thumb keeping you down because they control the technology. So so we're making the best of a bad deal, but we're probably going to have to go over to Odyssey sooner than later. So just be aware of that. We'll try to give out notices over here that we're going live on Odyssey. But it's a juggling act, and it just means more work to do. But and the chats are not, the same over there. We like the chat that's replayed when we do the rebroadcast. So that's our favorite, place to do it is right here. But anyway, we're going to make lemonade out of lemons that they gave us, ladies and gentlemen, and try to do our best we can. All right, and we have a really good presentation for you today. It is our standard presentation, and I also would love feedback if somebody likes, one thing I don't do enough of, or I'd like to know what somebody's favorite part is, because I like doing the words. Number one, I like doing the presentation on the words, then finishing the read of the original gospel. But Gaskell is really deep thought. The dictionary with Gaskell is really important. And I have an opener today with a read out of Isat Nassar, which is the life story of Yeshua that came out of Jerusalem in the 1800s by a Russian family of siblings that were actually born in Jerusalem, and they hung out with the different factions, whether it was Islamic or Catholic or Protestant. They were connected with the priesthoods, and somehow because of their father, they were wealthy, and well, the priesthood loves the wealth, right? So go figure. And so anyway, this read will give a good example of, and I'm getting messaging coming in, distracting me. So sorry about that. Let me just open this up. Hang on a minute. Okay, so yeah, we're going to give you an example of how wicked the priesthood really is, how they followed the Babylonian Talmud, and they were even, in that part it won't be evident perhaps, but they were the first Freemasonic guild that came out of Babylon, and it's the blue, called the Blue Lodge, the 3 degrees of international Freemasonry. So Yeshua was literally killed by Freemasons. Okay, this is the irony of where they put the Bible on their counter in the Masonic Lodge, but they don't call it Holy Scriptures or Sacred Scriptures. They call it furniture. Yeah, and they include the Quran there as well, and also the 5 books of or the Old Covenant, the Tanakh. Okay, and but anyway, these are very clever um, organizations that are thousands of years old. And Maria, good to have you. And she says, can't stay on at the moment. Be back in 1 hour. Okay, Maria, thank you for touching base. Good to have you. And we're sorry for the false starts, and but it affects us as much as it would affect anybody else, because this information is crucial. Had a major revelation today on the word, or actually yesterday, excuse me, on Adonai, because they replaced the sacred name when they came back from Babylon. They said, well, that sacred name is so sacred, where we don't want to offend Yahweh, so we'll go ahead and replace his name with Adonai. And Adonai, which I pointed out, is well, I'll give you the backwards anagram if you've not heard before, the when you read it backwards. But I've got now the original. I've got the original thought on that, and it just came to me watching a documentary yesterday, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at the word and I'm thinking, wait a minute, because the D is a T, and that's the clue. The D is a T, but the I is a Y also. That's another clue. So when you know the original forms and the code that they use to corrupt our words, our fours, then you can back engineer it. It's not, you know, once you learn the formula and the code, you can do it yourself. It's not a big deal at all. It's like playing Scrabble. You know, it's just like a word game. But the point is, the code, and so we're going to do that as well. All right, so let me turn on some light here, and we'll get into Isat Nasar and get that going. The dictionary project, I'm getting, the more I do it here on the program, the more I'm realizing how much more time I want to spend with it. So it's a juggling act, because I want to get out good information, things that people have not heard before, through my collecting of the ancient lost writings. I'm just reading today, in fact, out of let me go grab the book and I'll give you an example. Hang on. All right. And it's called the Kibra Nagast. The Kibra Nagast, and it comes out of Ethiopia. And I know it's significant because it was translated by E.A. Wallace Budge, and he was the curator. They put the cure in your eye, curator. That's the serpent. That's the serpent with the cure, the curator. And so this book is King Solomon, the Queen of Sheba, and her only son Menelik, Ethiopian legends and Bible. He's calling it folklore, but it's not folklore. It's the history. It's got in here the history that the priesthood filtered out of our scriptures, of our received scriptures. As you must know, there are, near 100 books that they took out of, and it's got to be far more than that. Like I've got the pseudepigrapha, the Old Testament pseudepigrapha. It is just near 70 books. Okay, just near 70 books in that one collection I've got. Other, it's a mind blower that to realize how we've been robbed, you know. So in this, so I wanted to give the spice in here, and I'm going to have to go through the and do a read out of this, okay? Because I want to share. But basically, um, it appears that the king of Rome, um, uh, we're talking about 900, the kingdom of Rome before it became an empire. The kingdom of Rome, like in 900, circa 900 BC, the king of Rome writes to Solomon and says, "I have no son, and I would like your son to come and marry my daughter so that he could then judiciously, I hate that word, um, perfectly rule this dominion of mine." And so the son of Solomon is one of the first kings, one of the first of the Roman kingdom. And then out of Shem, apparently out of Shem, there was all of these sons. Excuse me. Out of Shem, there was all of these sons that came forth. Shem is Melchizedek, the one who built the Gazar pyramid, right? Uh, one of the three sons of Nova, and so apparently all the king of the first king of Persia, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Moab, and I'm probably forgetting a couple others. Well, Ethiopia, his son, that he had a child with, the Queen of Sheba, and so all of these kingdoms that are associated with this ancient history area, like the three wise men, come out of Persia. You see. And they've got the Cave of Treasures. They're preserving the sacred tradition over there in Persia as well. And the priesthood out of Jerusalem didn't go visit Yeshua when he was born, but they did out of Persia. They got on camels and rode 1,000 miles to follow his star. And so what's really profound in here, I just read over the last day or so about Solomon, or excuse me, Samson, and his after he tears the temple down and kills the king of the Philistines. Delilah apparently is pregnant with his son, and I'm looking for his name here. But so anyway, his son, and so at the same time, Delilah is pregnant with Samson. The queen who lived and didn't die in the temple collapse. She had a baby of the king, a son of the king, as well. And so these boys are both born at the same time together, and they're growing up, and one is being king, and Samson is just part of the party, you know. But so at one point he says, "I'm going to kill the king," and when he was 14 years old, he took his sword and he cut off the head of the would-be king of the Philistines, and that's how that's the final chapter in the story of how the kingdom of the Philistines was decimated and destroyed by Samson and then his son. And then what happens is the women who lost the one boy realized that, rather than lose their control of the Philistine Empire, they went ahead and they made Samson the king, Samson's son the king. Uh, and I'm trying to see his name here. But when I read it, you'll get it when I read through it, okay? And then I think there was one more. Let me see one more here. Son of Samson. Uh, and then with Abraham as well, there's just wow, there's so much more. These people had lives and stories, and what we now have today in our scriptures, our shultures, are filtered. Filtered. That's it. You know, and so it's a real tragedy, ladies and gentlemen, for sure. So let me get into the stories have so much tragedy in it. What I mean. The stories are beautiful, in that they give us bearing where we are on the spiritual journey. And you know, they're messing with our count as well. We don't have a regular count when people are listening in. Like you typically has been saying, there's only one, and you know, so both me and Ninja are tied in. That's two of us, so we already know that the number count is being messed with, and so you know, for the years that we've been here. And we know that most of our friends that were really telling the truth and bringing out important information, they've all been, you know, had to go somewhere else. And so we're working our way there and hope that you'll follow us. In the meantime, we're going to try to give you the most important information on the face of the entire earth or under the earth. Because here is where we bring you the very best in radio broadcast listening and what they didn't want you to know. Okay. So let me see here. Don't tell me I got the wrong page here. Let me see here. I'm back up. Ariane. All right. I'll just go ahead and start on this page here, and we'll see where we go with this. Okay. I had several days. I had this page tagged for several days, and now it's like I forgot where I was starting here. But I'll just take it right here. I think I'm in the right place. And so it's regarding the Aryans and knowledge and the Savior and the progress to perfection. So these are the elements in here, and the desire of the Gentile. So a light of the nations. Gentiles correctly should be nations. A light of the nations. That's Isaiah 9 2, book 2 6. And the desire of all nations shall come. Haggai 2 1. And that is to be, of course, set free. We all want spiritual freedom along with the physical freedom as well, certainly. From the sacred book of the Iranians, let us trace the nature of the deity. Ahura Mazda, the living Lord. The Now this is the supreme that he's talking about, and it's just they're using a different name, you know, and there's meaning in these words. Mazda, as you know, implies three, and yeah, so and the Ahura represents the sun with the A and the breath the H, but should be two O's. Ahura. Okay, and so let me try this again. So Ahura Mazda, the living Lord, the great creator, or possibly interpreted as the wise one, has the most bountiful or most Holy Spirit, which is sometimes identical with him. And this is again talking about the great Father versus the Father, the active agent Yeshua within the universe, and the great Father who's beyond the universe because he's so powerful. And so that's the implication here. The seven, in other words, when Yeshua said, when you see me, you see the Father, right? Because he is spirit, and so we see him through Yeshua, and as well as his quality. The seven bountiful or holy immortals are, from the second to the seventh, personified thoughts sent forth from the mind of Zulafame to ennoble and redeem his people. In Yashat, and I'm not sure what book that is, 992, we read that Astavetria, the savior of the restoration, will arise from the Voltsars, the waters of Cassava. That's Keva. That's the cosmic woman. All the all-conquering, knowing, the victorious knowledge, which will make the world progress unto perfection. That's Zoroaster, also known as Zarathustra, and the Bible by the Reverend Dr. L.H. Mills. Remember, it was Cyrus who was predicted in the books of Isaiah that he would deliver the people of Judah and Israel and bring them back from Babylon. And but what came back, of course, is the Babylonian Talmud at the same time. To comprehend intelligently the history of the Christian faith, it is necessary to study and bear in mind the origin and characteristics of the various pure, as also the mixed races, whose influence acted and reacted on each other's religious tradition. The Aryan is the name now generally used to denote the division of the human race, that is, white or fair. To it belongs the Teuton, Saxon, Scandinavian, Slavonic, Latin, Macedonian, or Greek nations of Europe, and the Persians, Mede, Parthia, Armenian, and other Assyrian nations of Asia. The word Aryan is derived from the Persian Arya and Iran, which means land of the children of light. You see, they were regarded as the seed of light. That's why they were able to take that terminology, sky gods and sun gods, and make them into aliens. You know, like they came from outer space. You see, um, and but they were the enlightened ones. Because they were the first, these were the ones responsible for the megalithic structures built around the world, and all the other engineering that went on, from crossbreeding to gene selection to agriculture, all of these things. And Ninja, just give me a count in my ear, okay? If how many are viewing, I want to compare our counters here. There was a time long before the beginning of recorded history. Ninja, thank you. When the forefathers of the various Aryans lived together. Let me try this again. There was a time long before the beginning of recorded history, or at the time when recording of history was just beginning, when the forefathers of the various Aryans lived together as one people, speaking the same language. They lived a civilized family and social life, built houses, cultivated the ground, practiced regular government and a pure religion before they parted asunder. No date can now be fixed for the great separation, when the families of those Aryans parted off in different directions to become different nations. But the thing that's not mentioned here is how the sounds of the languages were affected and changed by malicious, what become the priesthoods. Um, how they parted in different directions to become different nations and speak their original language with such changes. Well, here it is right here. Speak their original language, the what is we're presenting here. And by the way, they're not Aryan, they're Zarian. Zarian is the star from beyond. Okay, and parted into the different directions to become different nations and speak their original tone key or language. Language is a corruption, but tone key, with such changes that they no longer understood each other's speech. Okay, that's but there's a reason, and that's the manipulation of priesthood that was taken over the world, building the pyramid civilizations around the world. Okay. And so when in the latter ages they met again, but as hostile nations. In most cases, these wandering Aryans did not enter on uninhabited lands, but upon those on which men of other races were already dwelling. Among these, they came as conquerors and generally drove the Aborigines, or the originals correctly, out of the best parts of the land into out of the way far reaches or the corners. The Aryan family parted into two great divisions: the Eastern or Asiatic Aryans, Zarians, and the Western or European Zarians. The vast extent of country from the eastern coast of the Mediterranean to the remotest bounds of Persia, commonly spoken of as Assyria, included the lands of the Aryan tribes. Let me take a sip here. Excuse me. I just lost my place here. Okay. Of the gods who were common to the settlers of this region, the principals were Bel and Nabo. But you see the letters are wrong because it's Bel would be vol. There's your volumes, the infinite volumes, vol, and Nabo, Nalva, Nalvo. The B again is a V, so not sure about that. What the implication is with Nabo. They recognized in vol their common progenitor. There, there you go. Because vol in this idea is means the one who made all things, the vol, the volumes, the infinite one. So it's not a negative by itself. Bell, is not a negative by itself. We have to seek where it comes from, and then realize that what happens is that corrupt people are embracing the original uh, motifs and échevoirs or words, and therefore looking acting like they're of a higher order, but at the same time they're mother sons of darkness. So this is part of the problem. Bell by itself is not nothing by itself is evil unless it's being used to incite the wrongs. Okay, so so they recognized in Vol their common progenitor. Their notions of Nabo were founded on the prediction, on a predication, prediction, which held out the expectation of a great deliverer for the nations. So you see, so there, that's meaning. So the na is the now, that which comes down. Na vol. Okay, there it is. So it's Bel is now coupled with the now vol, the vol who comes down to save. There's we see it in the what we call Germanic or the Deutsch, Jawohl, the affirmative, the vol, Jawohl, the vol that goes round. Their notions of novel were founded on, you can even hear the word novel in there, right? And novel has a double meaning as well beyond that. So their notions of novel were founded on a predication. Let me just take a note here. I want to put this in my margin so I don't forget that. Okay. Um, their notions of novel were founded on a prediction which held out the expectation of a great deliverer for the nations. And novel literally signifies one prophesied of or foretold of. Vol and Bel or Baal, we'll use these terms here now to compare. Bel or Baal, although an object of religious worship, did not represent for them the supreme being, but their deified ancestor Bel slash Vol, which term signifies the white or fair one. The bright and shining one is the correct term. Let me take a note on that. That's what that's the Nazare, the white or the bright and shining. All right, bright and shining one. Also the Lord and also Lord progenitor as well. Lord progenitor, the one who extends our life. And the sunrise, Lord, is a corruption for sunrise, the great sunrise, and that in the more medieval period of time, it literally also meant our mother who gives us our bread. So that's what the sunrise does. It's the virgin light, the mother star that gives us all of our produce. My screen keeps flickering every now and then, like it's taking a photograph or something, Ninja. So and I don't know what's happening on your end, but it's done this several times. It's like just the screen flashed. It's never done that before. Okay, yeah. All right, all right. Okay, okay. Also, the Lord Progenitor. By this term of Bell, I'll tell you what. I want to take a break right now, and I want to test something. To see, if they're doing more to our program to deny access to our friends. So, Ninja, go to a longer break if you could, please, and I'll be back in a little bit. Okay? Thank you. Okay, and we're back on Forbidden History Live, the series, and Ask Dezert-Owl on the Original Thought Transliteration Project. And we know that most of our listeners come in after the programming. I just had to do a test on the system to see if it's working properly. And Ninja just confirmed for me that it's not, because we have conflicting numbers on different readouts in the back office. And so, when you have the ability to present things like nobody else is doing, and you're on point and hitting the mark, the bullseye, to use a cliche, the bullseye. It's very appropriate, exposing the legacy of those who have been running our world from the beginning of recorded history, and can identify them, pinpoint them, and expose them. Then they're not big on that. You know what I mean? And so that's why every network I ever went to, last century and this century, um, I got jacked with. They play games, they play tricks, and every little, and they're run. Then you find out they're run by Jesuits, they're run by the feds, whatever department that might be, and so who they are, because you know who you are, and what you're trying to do to bring out the truth about life. Remember, these people don't want you transcending. They don't want you identifying with the true nature of things, and as we're presenting here, the original thought in the Aisha Vors, that's the original for word or for logo, Aisha Vor, the royal eye at the center, at the apex, okay? And so anyway, I want to thank Bob for his help as well. And so we're on reading again. If you're coming late, we started in the appendix of the book, the Isat Nasar, the story of the life of Yeshua, the Nazarene. And as I was pointing out, that when they were calling them, sun gods or sky gods are bright and shining one, or the white or fair one, they're talking about the Aryan race, because the Aryan race was made first. As it said, Adam was the first made before anyone else was made, or anything else was made on earth. Then he's taken up to the throne of the sun, the atom, and then he comes down last in creation, last. And he was with Yeshua the whole time he brought forth the creation, and he named everything. So he had in him, the knowledge of how everything operated in the universe. That was the distinction with the Aryan race that gave them the ability to do the things that we do today, and back then before the flood, when they built stone civilizations, megalithic structures that nobody can build today. And so Adam was called the bright and shining one, the bright and shining one. And he was also known as the first Nazarene, and so, which is corrupted into Nazarite. And then they, even to cover it more, created a town called Nazareth that never existed. It's never mentioned once in the Old Covenant as an example. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to pick up my read in this preceding chapter, uh, and continue, because I just disrupted the read, but I was just having to test the system. And glad you're tuned in, and hope you're telling your friends about the broadcast, because we do not get promoted here. Okay, only word of mouth. So of the gods who were common in the to the settlers of this region, and of course we're in the Middle East, to keep it general if you come in late here. The principles were Bel and Nabo, but Bel is Vol, and that's Yavol Haim. That's the part of the sacred name, the Yavol, the affirmative volumes, infinite volumes. So don't be confused. Bel is Vol, and Nabo is the the now Vol, the now that come down, and they recognized in Vol their common progenitor, the one who made everything. Their notions of Naval were founded on the prediction which held out the expectation of a great deliverer for the nations. Whoa, well, that's a familiar story. And Naval literally signifies one prophesied of or foretold of, and that's Yeshua, right? Vol and Val, or Bel and Baal, Ball, although an object of religious worship, did not represent for them the supreme being, but their deified ancestor, Bel. That would probably be then associated with Abel, because he was the known as the righteous one, and gave his life, shed his blood for the first one to do so with the Aryan race, which was the incarnation of actually Yeshua coming down, being the first one to spill his blood and the last one to spill his blood as a willing sacrifice. And this is never mentioned anywhere, of course, but when you've been doing this like I have for a lifetime and collecting the lost writings and decoding the code that we're doing here, and we'll be doing as we get to the dictionary in a little bit. Okay, that it actually fits, and it fits an idea that that which is first is like that which is last, and that which is last is as that which is first. So it makes sense that Yeshua would come down to be the first one to spill his blood for the Aryan race, and then the last one to bring soul salvation to all of man, Ashan kind, not mankind, because man is criminal and sinner, but to Ashan kind. And so signifies, continuing here, let me see, back up. Let me take a sip of my drink. Bell or ball, which would be vol or val. Hold on. Although an object, you have to remember what I was saying earlier, that the corrupted used the original terms. They made them their own when they were deceiving mankind. Just like the Vatican uses Jesus Christ, right? But wait a minute, they're not true followers. They're the serpent cult. They're from Babylon. They follow the Babylonian Talmud. Those are crypto Jews running the world through the Vatican, through banking, and through the military of all the nations, through the money, the funny money. And so that's what they did. They corrupt everything. And so we have to be open to the use of terms and see if we can analyze them in their true nature. Okay, so the one foretold. So Vol and Vol, although an object of religious worship, did not represent for them the supreme being, but their deified ancestor, Bel, which term signifies the white or fair one, which correctly is the bright and shining one. That's what Adam was called, the bright and shining one. And then the Nazare, the ray of light that came down from a star. That's what Nazare means, the ray of light that comes down from a star. Also known as the Lord Progenitor, or the sunrise of progenitor. The sunrise, every day he comes. By this term of Vol or Bel or Baal or Vol, they denoted the progenitor of the white Aryan race. Also, and this is not to take away from any other culture, by the way. When we talk about Aryanism here, we're just identifying with the history. Okay, we didn't write the history. There is only one history, but the Aryan race was supposed to bring truth to mankind. Okay, the good news of our origin, where we come from, that we're not of this world, and instead, as we see with the story of the fallen watchers, they sold out and decided to enslave mankind. So the Aryan race gets no credit, other than there was one line that came down from Adam called the Nazare, and it comes through who we call Israel today, but they were the fallen ones as well, just like the Watchers were fallen, the 10 tribes were fallen, and so that's another version of the other version to show patterns and to be able to see things more clearly through these patterns. Okay, and so Yeshua was Nazare, and so was James, his brother, the second born of Mary, Metzarem, firstborn of Voleshafe Joseph. Okay, so let's see where we're going here. And so also as dominion in the primitive ages originated in parental and patriarchal authority, the term became their title for ruler or father. Oh, okay, or of the family. And I'm getting okay. And I just realized that, like, I've got the dictionary of what is that? Blackwell, nice name, Blackwell of the Dictionary of Judaica, Blackwell, and in there the word ball is called master, They're coming from Babylon, and the term Baal is for master, and master is literally mother star, 2 words, and so there's how that term Baal is used. It's not an evil thing by itself. It has a meaning that's being used, and so what they call themselves is Baalai Suits in the Jewish libraries, or where when they were working in the Roman Empire, working in the library, they were called Baalai Suits. There you sounds like, but it should have been the Baalai Shuls, because they corrupted the word shul. They don't like that word because it means knowledge, and they corrupted it into Suth, and so but it means the masters of knowledge, and so continuing here. Also, the dominion of the particular ages originated in parental and patriarchal authority. The term became their title of ruler or father of the family, or the mother star. Bel or Baal was consecrated in the star Saturn and represented by an image of the star bearing a scepter in its hand. With the masses, this symbol in time absorbed the worship of the divine personage those Eastern Aryans had been taught to expect at a future period. Okay, the divine personage that would come, the Savior. As far as opinions have been collected, they gotta love those opinions, right? As far as opinions have been collected, they supply evidence that the expectation of a great deliverer prevailed among the descendants of the patriarch Seth. Okay, because remember, out of Cain came the redhead spotted, those who had the stain of blood and were spotted. And so the only other line that could possibly come, since Abel was murdered, would be through Seth. But Seth is also in the Egyptian called Set, meaning like sunset. And so that's really, the implication that the true light was hiding, and so it was hidden from mankind in a general, but the Aryan race were preserving the idea of becoming the second born, or what we call born again. And I've got a call coming in. I don't know who this is. We'll find out. I'm on the broadcast. Ninja, are you there? Okay, she's there, Bob. Okay, know that we're on the broadcast, Bob. Are you tuning in?
I understand that. I don't know if I am. Okay. Now I know I have you because I can hear you on the computer.
But you got to turn down your volume. I can't. We're getting feedback.
I don't know if I am.
You got to turn down your volume.
No, I'm going to have to let you go anyhow.
But
I just want to make sure I knew how to get on it. I can listen on the computer. I can listen to it later.
Yeah, and this is your call. The call-in number.
Hours. I'm sorry.
You called in on the call-in number, is what you did, right?
Yeah, to see if I was on your call or not.
Yeah, you're live. You're good, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bob. I just want to make sure the picture I have on my computer is the call rather than an old recording.
Gotcha. No, this is the live broadcast you're on, so good deal. All right, Bob.
Okay.
Peace and love, brother.
God bless.
All righty. And so let's go back. We're going to drop Bob and hope we can navigate out of here now. Hang on a minute. What am I going to do? I'm going to go back. It's a juggling act, but hang on a minute. Okay, I'm going to go there. And okay, I got to hang up. Jeez. Ninja, are you there? Ninja? Okay. All right. Well, it's a juggling act, but we did it. Okay, that was good. Bob is testing our system for us, and we do appreciate Bob doing that. We gotta test the phone call in every now and then. Make sure that's working right too. We got an outside number, so you can call in, and the lines are open. If you just want to say hello, give us a heads up that you're listening. Tell us where you're from, or if you got a comment or a question, you're welcome to call in. We've got it set up so we can take calls. In the meantime, I'm trying to I just have 2 more pages. Well, I'll tell you what. You know what? Okay, let me read a little bit more. I'm going to try to find a stopping point. I'll do part 2 tomorrow. I don't want to put all my time into this. So as far as the opinions have been collected, they supply evidence that the expectation of a great deliverer prevailed among the descendants of the patriarch Seth. Okay, so that was unique to the Aryan race, ladies and gentlemen, because it was to them that was given the knowledge of who we are, where we are, why we are, and when we are. And the other races were still living in a primitive mode. It doesn't mean that they didn't have wisdom or knowledge, because the great breath of the wind and fire, the Holy Spirit, through the virgin light, the mother star, communicated with all the other cultures. So there was communication. That's why they knew what plants they could eat. That's because they had a sophisticated society of their own. So it's not to take away from the other cultures, because they had wisdom also and knowledge. But the Aryan race was selected for the purpose of bringing salvation to mankind. That's the bottom line of that. Okay, and so they that the expectation of a great deliverer prevailed among the descendants of the patriarch Seth, uh, who believed that Seth had been initiated by the um, royal messengers of the Elohim in regard to the preservation of his future posterity, and in the event of a savior, Okay, so in the science of astronomy cultivated among those Eastern Aryans from the remotest antiquity, it was taught that there would be a restitution of all things after a revolution of years. And the time would be, we find it in the lost books of Adam and Eve. And right in there, Yeshua promises to Adam and Eve, correctly, Hadam and Keva, uh, that he would come back and save them in 5,500 years. So 6 is the number. If we round it up, it's 6,000 years. But as it says in the scriptures, but he cut the time short, or that nobody would be saved. And so 5,500 years from the fall of Adam and Eve, Hadam and Keva, until he would restore all things, meaning from the connection, you know, that we were dead spiritually before the great light, before the great Father. Okay, so a restitution of all things after a revolution of years, and the beginning of a new era was calculated by the rising of particular stars. That is called what Yeshua ushered in. The old world died. Everything changed, new paradigm, and Yeshua brings in the age of golden light and reason, the golden age of light, the truth for all mankind about who we are, where we are, why we are, and where we can go if we choose. But we're still given free choice, you know. Um, Astronomy, however, was mixed up with astrology. That's what ultimately happened, because the message in the stars was about the one who would come at the end of time, you know. But they had to change that story as well. That's why the original word for gospel, which in the Greek we see as evangelion, not gospel, which they did in the English, but it was in evangelion, which is correct, but it literally means the star message of enlightenment. The star message of enlightenment. So that's it. And up in the stars is the message of enlightenment about who we are. That's what starts with Orion, pointing the bow at the letter A of the alphabet, also a pyramid, you know, not a bull. That's what they want you to think. So continuing, the astronomy, however, was mixed with astrology. That I guess would be called astrotheology, right? And their observations of terrestrial phenomena led to an elaborate system of augury. Their chief object was to notice the event which happened after each celestial phenomenon, such as eclipses of the sun and moon, phases of Venus and Mars, positions of the polar star, and the appearance of comets. These false assumptions were the false assumptions. Try it again. The false assumption was made that an event was caused by another which preceded it. And see, that's how it becomes corrupted. Rather than free will and all things possible, it went, now you're subject to the reading in the stars. I better not go outside today. I'm told that everyone's going to treat me bad. or this, that, or the other thing. Don't do business transactions today. Oh, because Mars is in retrograde or something like that. All this crazy stuff they've come up with astrology. Hence it and make money while telling other people about it, right? Hence it was laid down that whatsoever two events had been observed to follow one after another, the recurrence of the first would cause the other to follow again. So these Aryan nations believed the existence of one invisible creator, supreme, first cause of everything. But they assigned to the stars that influence over sublunary affairs, which gradually came to be placed in the stead of the watchful overruling province of the deity. Right, just like as we're going to read when I pick it up tomorrow, it says that they went from recognizing the star Sirius as being the symbol, the biggest star in the sky, not including our sun, but in the biggest of the stars, Sirius, and that it represented the one who would come, but then they converted it into a deity itself, and they started worshiping what is called the dog star, Sirius. They started worshiping it, and that's where we get the word dog, which is God backwards. You see, so this is where the word God comes from, the star, the dog star, Sirius. And so they were worshiping the star, and that's the God. You see, that's where it comes from. But out of Babylon, it was Elohim, and Elohim is a corruption from the original, which is in the pure tradition, the Zul, love, Haim. There's the word Zu. There's the word Ul for owl, Zu for everything, Ul for the ability to see in the darkness of this world. The Zul, love. There's the love from the feminine creation, the virgin light. Zul, love, Haim, the breath of the many. Aim. It's aiming towards multiplication, the Zul of Haim, and so I hope you got that sinking in, okay? Because we've been had, ladies and gentlemen, unless we can talk about how they have changed our words and the meanings and place names and people's names and their interpretations and the alphabet and the letters. They've changed all of these things and filtered our scriptures, pulled out parts of it, shuffled other parts of it, and they have done all of this while everyone's reading it and eating it up as if it's come directly from Yeshua, and it's an indirect coming, indirect, because they have taken the originals and they have rewritten them and they destroyed the originals, and all we have left are copies, and as they went through time, they even rewrote them again. So there's been several phases of alterations of our scriptures, but because the Spirit is so great, he knew that they would do that, and therefore he is the one who opens it up for us. He helps us make the connections. He's the revealer. The one who makes all things is the one who reveals all things. He was there at every moment, everywhere, at all times. So he knows the game, and he can open it up for you. So the first thing we have to do is acknowledge the truth, because that man has manipulated our works. King James had no interest in the scriptures. He was a homosexual. He wasn't even interested in being a king because he refused to sign the letters of Parliament. Parliament is the boss. The Parliament is the boss. So he said, "Leave me alone. I'm going to go hunting with my boyfriend and have a good day," And that was it. And so they created an image with King James, a false image. In fact, his name is not James, it's Jacob, which goes back to Yaakov, which is the seed of light. So they're claiming to be the seed of light while they're mother sons of darkness, and he didn't create Freemasonry. He was made to look like he created Freemasonry, but it was the controlling hand, the unseen hand behind him that's pulling all the strings, because it's still the Ashkenazi, Khazar Aryan, who they call themselves Jews today, who are running the show, and he was a puppet, just like all of them are puppets. Prince Charles today, his father Philip, or and we've revealed how King George III came over in a military operation to pretend to be George Washington, and then make it look like we got a country of freedom, because the best slaves are those who think they're free and will be willing to go to work 5 days a week from 8 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, and go take care of their own business and clean their clothes and feed themselves. What better slaves could you have as long as they come back on Monday to work for the big estate of the underground bases ultimately, and the space program with satellites that can monitor everybody and use the directed energy to you know what on planet Earth to burn it all down. All coming to a neighborhood near you, ladies and gentlemen. They just needed our labor. That's all they wanted, to create their final new Atlantis, the Great Way. So, um, you know, I've been at this thing since 1990 when I became a political activist, okay? Knowing the political science. I've been studying 20 years prior to that, the scriptures, over to about 25 years prior to that. And so I had to read the ancient first, because the ancient clued me in on what was happening today, because it's run by the ancients. And so it was important for me to learn original alphabets and to read about ancient secret societies and how the games were played, and then, yeah, and come through it all. And now it's the forbidden history. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here, ladies and gentlemen. Ninja, I need a long break, please. Give me a good one. And then we'll be right back with a read from Gaskell. And then after Gaskell, I was going to tell you more on the Nibrat, the Kibra and the Gast, but I think I'll just save it for when I read it. But the point was, the one point I wanted to make was that this thing about being the second born, right, which we talk about and give examples. And in here, once again, when I was reading that about the life of Solomon, it clicked with me, right? Because here we go, and I'm going to define Bathsheba when we get to the dictionary. I'm going to define Bathsheba for you, okay? So you can get that picture. But basically, that Solomon was not the firstborn of Bathsheba, and because Bathsheba becomes the well, it means the first royal eye, or also like in Bethlehem means the first house, the Vat, and the Vat is also the serpent. There you go figure. The serpent is Vat, and that means the first house, because the first house we have is our body, and that's the serpent, right? But so anyway, so Solomon, when Tavat David, he embraces Bathsheba and kills Uriah the Hittite and has a baby. What happened? The baby died. It was dead. It was dead, and it was cursed, therefore, because of what happened with this adultery and this murder, and all that went on, right? And so who is Solomon? Solomon is the second born, becoming an image, because what did he get? He got everything. He got knowledge. He got the resource of everything that was out there brought to him, meaning wealth, but resource is a better term, because we're not, the Great Father is not going to make us wealthy, but we can be rich in Yeshua. We can be rich and have things come to us when we need them in the great mystery, because all things are at his disposal. It's called the footstool. And so the earth is his footstool, and the sun is his throne. And so we're going to get into these Asia Wars a little more when we get there. Some really great revelations. I'm really getting excited about this particular dictionary, because it'll be the only one that's exclusively dealing with the spiritual terms, and we're revealing them on every program. We've had some audio problems. We've had, well, not just audio, but the actual stream itself has a problem, and it seems to work well late at night down in Australia for Ninja, unfortunately, but the daytime in the evening, 7 p.m. Eastern time's not been working, and now it's been working pretty good. At first it was rough. So I'm not sure what time we're going to be doing our broadcast yet. It seemed like the other time was better for everyone, but we may not be able to do the 7 p.m. Eastern time, East Coast time here in the U.S. and we're taking it one day at a time, and we'll see what happens. Ninja's working out her engineering over there. Okay, but so there's so much more to the story, ladies and gentlemen, that has been removed from our psyche. Okay, removed from our libraries, removed from our consciousness, and so we try to bring it on right here. Okay, and yeah, we have a thank you, Ninja. We have a PDF of Isat Nasar. You're missing an A. It should have been yeah, IE. I gotta stand up. I can't read that way. But you don't have to change it. Don't worry about it. But it's IE. Oh no, I guess you got it right. SAT. IESAT. You got that? IESA. Oh, you're missing the A. Yeah, okay. And so those are available on Rare Books and more. Yeah, and but if you can't afford the $3 or whatever, don't worry about it. Just call me, contact me, and I'll get it to you. Okay, we're here to serve, and the Heavenly Father freely gave me everything, that I share with you here. And so this is not about commerce. This is about sharing and helping people on the journey and to see things they've never seen before, by hearing some things they've never heard before that has been hidden away from us. This has been my life project. I've written over a dozen dictionaries, over the last several decades. I started 40 plus years ago, about 45 years ago, defining the words and writing the code down. And I had a dictionary on my desk as an example at that time when I was in my 20s for every European um, nation, German, French, Italian, Spanish. I had a dictionary, and I followed the trail because it was all orchestrated. Originally, as an Aryan race, we all spoke the same tongue. We spoke the same, what they call language, but that's language. That's what they put in a cannon and shoot out at the rigging of another ship, so he's dead in the water. So if you speak language, you're dead in the water, because that's what they did with us. They killed us so that we cannot move forward um, into the Great Enlightenment. So we got to hear some things we've never heard before if we want to see some things we never heard before. So when we get back, we're going to bring on the rest of the broadcast. It looks like we're a go for that, and a little more of what they simply didn't want you to know, but we tell right here, because the Great Father is the revealer. I'm just an instrument being used, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to serve and to bring it on. Okay, and don't forget, they're coming for me, but they're coming for you too. And are you ready to go? That's the question. The big question, ladies and gentlemen. Are we ready psychologically and with knowledge? Because Shua means knowledge. Shul is school. Yal Shulinva, the most primitive form of Yeshua. Okay, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Glad you tuned in. Hope you're telling your friends about the broadcast. and welcome back to Forbidden History Live, the series, ladies and gentlemen, on Ask Dezert-Owl and the Original Thought Transliteration Project. And what they did want you to know that we try to tell right here, because we need to know. We need to know things that we didn't know in order to know which way to go and where we're going or not going, and to be set free. You know the truth, and the truth will set you free. But we got people embracing all these false notions and deceptions, that have been permeating in our lives from the beginning. They got us watching cartoons. Oh, isn't that something we should be spoon-fed when we come into the world, huh? All those cartoons of stupidness and beating each other up and thinking that's healthy, right? Yeah, my favorite was Coyote and the Roadrunner. I love that. I think it's because I love the Southwest. but the guy keeps blowing himself up and keeps coming back. How about that? Nobody got hurt. Oh, and yeah, so we're in a pretty bad world, ladies and gentlemen. It's not our world. That's the good news, to wake up to it, because people, when it's their time to go, then they, they're in torment because it's all they know. And this and so we got to know something beyond this world. And does the our Father have a voice? Does he communicate with his creation? Of course he does. Read the first 8 verses of Psalm 1, Psalm 19. Okay, Psalm 19, and it talks about right there. He's been communicating with people from the beginning. You know what? I got to turn on my AC. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Hang on. It just started getting toasty in here, so sorry about that. And this is a juggling act, I gotta say. We're trying to schmooze everything out and streamline it, and things keep happening, and we can never, it seems like we can never get our rhythm right. But Ninja, she's up and down. She's in the middle of the night now here, around 1 a.m. or thereabouts, and in Australia. And so she really puts out so that we can do this. So we're in Gaskell, okay, in the Dictionary of All Scriptures and Myths by G.A. Gaskell. And we're going through the alphabet, and each different day we move to the next alphabetical listing. So we're in Y right now, and these are the ancient knowledge or the philosophy, meaning the love of knowledge, from these different cultures. I focus primarily, on our Christian tradition, but very often it's interesting to read what other people think or have to say from the ancient traditions, because you'll find out that the only thing that's different is the word. It's still the same idea and the same notion, because we all have the same origin. Some people didn't come this way from another way, and then others people came from another way. We all came from the same source. We all have the same father and mother in the cosmic mother. Material matter is our mother, and the spirit is our father. So our mom and dad, who brought us into the world, are just lower images of something that's greater. We all have the same parents. The great secret, great mystery. But of course, the Jews who follow the Babylonian Talmud won't acknowledge that. They think they're better than you and me, and that we don't deserve to live, and they want it all. Morals. Oh, there's your morals and dogma. More. Give me. I want more. I want it all. Morals and dogma. Give me that dog. I mean dogma. I love that dogma. Can I have some more, please? Yeah, they're just Masonic. Mother sons of darkness. That's what it means. Masonic. And unreal. The most worshipful master, most worshipful monster. Go figure. So Yao. Okay, so I'm on Yao, Celestial Emperor, a symbol of the higher. And I don't know what tradition this is coming out of, but I have a lot of underlines in here from when I've read it before. So it looks like it's just another version of the original idea of where we come from. Okay, let's see. So Yao, the celestial emperor, a symbol of the higher self manifesting upon the Buddhic plane during the cycle of involution. And Buddhic is more correctly Voltec. It's a throw off because we think of Buddha and and Buddhism and all this stuff. So, but it's Voltec, meaning the volume. There's the volume again, like ball and bell, Voltec. So it's the technology of infinite volumes. That's what it means, the infinite volumes. And then we have all that material access, and we can create anything, right? That's what it looks like. So Yao was very, very young when he began to reign, but his heart was penetrated by a benevolence as extensive as the cosmos itself. His mother observed a red dragon, and dragon is always serpent. It's the same thing, and was delivered of him. So this sounds like it's right out of Revelations. It's another version of what we find in Revelations. The woman was giving birth, the woman that was clothed in the light with the moon on her feet, and she was given birth, and the dragon wanted to eat him up as soon as he was born, right? And so let's try this again. His mother observed a red dragon and was delivered of him after 14 months pregnancy. Fire was the element chosen to illustrate the virtues by which he reigned. So the fire is seen in the sun. That's his logo. Yao was frugal in his food and almost mean in his dress, and almost mean in his and to study the happiness of his people was his sole business. So not the study, but it may be the word the knowledge of enlightenment, because joy is always used to replace enlightenment. So we have to realize that all translations have to have a little bit of a wiggle room because they may not be properly translated. But it is the study of enlightenment, perhaps, of his people was his sole business. That's Yeshua. Unwearied in his researches, he made an annual tours throughout the empire. Yeah, he makes annual tours. The light goes everywhere, and so does his breath. His arrival was anxiously looked for. Yeah, that's what we all were waiting. Is the Messiah coming? When is he coming, right? Then he came, and he rose from the dead, came back again, rose from the dead, second time. His presence was as refreshing as that of the rain upon the parched soil. Strive, he said, for wisdom, and render virtue conspicuous. Show obedience to your superiors. Be kind. Without effort, he promoted virtue, his sole example being sufficient to render the whole nation virtuous. Yao's presence displayed the splendor of the sun. There you go. His deportment, the majesty of the clouds. His great mystery, symbol of great mystery. See Gutzlaff, Chinese history. The self, or soul, was born first upon the Buddhic plane. That's the Voltec. That's the complex coming together of all creation. On the Vedic plane as love, wide-reaching throughout the manifestation. Truth matter, or mother. There you go, truth matter. I missed that one, and I've never really noticed that term before. Isn't that an amazing compound word? Truth matter. And here it's got in parentheses, mother. So the mother is speaking truth throughout all creation. Truth matter. Boy, I'm going to write that in the middle margin here too. Truth. Okay, truth matter. Becoming mother, becoming relative, and conditioned, brought forth the self after a full period of latency and complete preparation. Yeah, it took a long time to get here, like 6 billion years. Divine love, Trevane love, on the Voltec plane of fire, that's fire. There you go. The Voltec is fire. Let me just take a note here. I got lost. I'll just put it right there. Okay, let me try this again. So brought forth the complete the divine Trevane love on the Buddhic plane, fire, Voltec, was, let me just take another note here, hang on. All right. On the Baltic was element characterizing the higher qualities through which the self ruled the activities of the plane. So we were given free reign, free mobility, free choice. The self was undergoing but little experience, and external manifestation was almost absent. The involution of the higher qualities was the great purpose of the self. The involution of the higher qualities was the purpose, but no, we got diverted by the people running our world, and they wanted us to get into stupid stuff and cartoons and politics and war, of course. Go to war, fool. The manifestation of the self, let me back up on this again. The involution of the higher qualities was the great purpose of the self by being here. Why am I here? The manifestation of the self is symbolized by the illuminating radiation of the sun. There you go, right there. Let me underline that. The illuminating, that's our reflection, the great light, because that's where we come from, the great light. And his functioning by the outpouring rain, that's truth. By the outpouring rain is truth on the Voltec or Buddhic plane. That's the clouds, the great mystery. The red dragon has the same meaning as the great red dragon. So it's just like when I talk, I always say the Father and the Great Father. You know, because the dragon represents the sun. That's why the Pharaoh had on his headdress the cobra. That means my supporting brother, the light. The light supports us. It's not a dragon, and serpent is not evil by itself, but everything has to be defined and put in its proper position. We're a lower creation with the potential to be higher creation. The red dragon has the same meaning as the great red dragon of Revelation 12, which seems to threaten the woman before she brings forth the man-child, which would be correctly the Ashan, I want to sprig. I want to say sprig. I don't want, child means dead. So man-child, the offspring. Yeah, the Ashan offspring, the royal eye. That's what he was. The royal eye. It stands for the relative in the manifest, which always must include, in some degree, the opposite of goodness, love, and truth. The period indicated is the golden age of involution, wherein the qualities are involved in matter and the world soul in peacefulness and to the utmost perfection, so that when the one soul becomes the many souls, that we all, our spirit is eternal, right? And not unlike our body's temporary, but so the one soul is son, but soul, soul, is a corruption of shul, meaning the knowledge, that our state is that of knowledge. That's soul, okay? But they corrupted, of course. And each soul will contain within it a microcosm of a microcosm, the perfections of the one, the macrocosm. So let's try this again. The period indicated in the golden age, that's the golden age of light that Yeshua, and that's what it says right here, of Yeshua, Let me just put that in there. This is a good chat. Boy, this was a good definition. The period indicated is the golden age of light, of involution, wherein the qualities are involved in matter, and the superior qualities then, involved in matter, and the world soul, and the world knowledge of light would be the way to say it, in peacefulness and to the utmost perfection. So that when the one soul, Shul, becomes the many souls, each soul will contain within it as a microcosm the perfections of the one. That's also called synderesis in the Black's Law Dictionary, first edition. Synderesis, meaning to want to do the right thing, always, until you're corrupted, of course. And so in a microcosm of perfections of the one, and the macrocosm, that's like the sun, each soul is perfect potentially, not automatically, but each soul is perfect potentially and awaits the evolution of all that is within it, coming to the higher state, that evolution, coming to the higher state, so that it may be perfect in actuality. In actuality. See ark, man, birth of man, child, Buddhic, plane, civilizing, clouds, cripples, dragons, red, dynasty, elements, evolution, fire, food, golden age, involution, lens, microcosm, manco, Maya, higher, members, oneses, onomaki, respectful, manners, robe, sun, vistap, and year. So that was quite a mouthful, and we'll hold it right there on that. And so we're getting ready to do our dictionary and do some words, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget, it is a call-in program, and you're welcome to call in and touch base. You know, this is a lonely outpost at times, and I hope you're consider making comments in our comment section when we come back on the replay, where you can make comments down below. And but you know, love to hear from you. Love to get your feedback. Again, I want to know what you like most about the presentation. And my favorite is reading the original gospel at the end, because I've been reading it for 25 years now. Twice a day, I've read it over 50 times, 182 chapters. It's the entire life story of Yeshua, the entire life story. They always hide it right in front of us, and nobody gets it. But we've republished it, and maybe Ninja can pull the graphic up real quick. We've republished it, and so it will uh, be in a better format for people to read. And I'm still doing a couple more phases of this edition that will be shortly coming as well. But it's a classic. Okay, it is his story, and it explains. It's like after I started reading it, I couldn't read Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, because those are the abbreviated versions. I wanted the whole story. I wanted the more in-depth insight into the quality of things that were unfolding, especially with the resurrection. He defines the resurrection in there like nowhere else, nowhere, and it's so well done. There are some elements in there that could have been done better, but overall, it looked like it was a real attempt to try to get the truth out, but they put it under the name Aquarian so that nobody will really notice, and give it too much credit, or therefore it won't disappear, but it will stay there. But it is the original gospel. It destroyed, this thing about the Q source. Oh, well, we think there was an original source writing that they had way back then, but it's no longer available. And no, it is available. It's right here, right in our face. It's been here since the late 1800s, when a Civil War chaplain named Levi Dowling brought it forward. He was an insider. You know, they said he was a friend of the Rosicrucians. Well, if you're a friend of the Rosicrucians, you're probably a Rosicrucian. But that meant he had access to the Vatican, and he probably found it in there and said, "I got to bring this out." You know, and that's basically the short of it. You know, so yeah, so we've really got some real treasure here that we're trying to share with all of you out there that. You know, must be tired of the treadmill of Jesus loves you. Yes, I know, for the Bible tells me so, and that's all I know. You know, because we were supposed to be part of an enlightenment that you know, where we talk about things that nobody else is talking about that you can't hear anywhere else because they're all parrots. They can't even define the words. They just like parroting them, but they never look deeply into them. You see, and so therefore they're under the spell, the ghost spell of deception and false narratives. You know, like the narrative of King James' story. You know, he was a puppet king. He was used as a symbol to institute the next version of the other version of deception, Protestantism. But they're all run by the Catholic Jesuit Jews. So there you go. Okay. So when we get back, we're going to be doing a screen share, and we'll bring on the dictionary that we'll go, and we got a couple new words we're going to add, and this is what we do on each program. I felt this was the best way to share with friends so they could see. You know, I ad lib. I don't need a reference book, or I don't have notes. I just have the words in front of me that I want to work on, and I do it right there. I've been doing this for so long now; it's all second nature, and the words keep opening up to me because I haven't defined them all. And like this one, Adonai, how did I miss it? You know, like I should have seen that or looked or tried to look at it. I read it backwards and saw that it was India. It was an anagram for India, and that's relative. But now we're going to get the original of Adonai before it was corrupted, and they used it to take away the sacred name. Okay, so that's coming up next. And yeah, Ninja, give me another long break, okay? Because I'm getting talked out today. We hadn't done a program in a while, and my voice atrophies after a few days. So we're trying to get back in the groove, and hope you're enjoying the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you can call me anytime on the side. I'm here. I'm in Central Ohio, but Central Eastern time, and love to hear from you out there, especially if you're dealing with issues of any sort, you know, and you're trying to work things out yourself. You can always consider this ministry your friend and call on the side. But we'd love to have you call in on the program. We don't beat anybody up here. We just share. We share what's important with us, and love to hear from you and to get your feedback. Where you're from out there in the world, and the Skype we Ninja gave you the thing earlier, but it's Free America Radio. That's all one word, Free America Radio on Skype. If you're outside the U.S., okay, want to save on the dollars, okay? So don't go away. We'll be right back with a little more of what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here because somebody's got to do it. All right. And welcome back, friends. And you're tuned in right here to Forbidden History Live. I better get that. I'm going to hear my feedback. Hang on. Gosh. All right. And the original thought transliteration project, Ask Dezert-Owl, where I'd love to be able to answer questions for somebody who's trying to figure something out. And we got a tough road to go down, ladies and gentlemen. And so I've been studying an entire lifetime to unravel the mystery of how we've been lied to. So I just hope that you've got it all figured out. But my background actually, let me just show you my background. Let me do that because it's I'm a bit of an enigma unto my own self, but I know what's going on, and so I've been getting beaten up by the secret society members for a long time. And let me go here. Where's that? Holding. Okay, going to holding. Okay, from there we'll go to my resume. I want to show you my background. What? Are you okay? Are they listening so they can be in on this, or you don't want to? It don't matter. It just seems like they're being left out of the loop. All right, you got it. All right, good. All right. Mhm. All right. Okay. So my point was that when you dedicated yourself to knowing something, and especially when it was to reveal the conspiracy to destroy mankind. I'm trying to blow this up on the screen anymore, and it's not doing it. Let me see. I got a plus. Oh, there we go. Okay. Trying it a different way. All right. So that way everybody can. Now what's going on? What's going on? It's got a hiccup. Is that what you're doing? You're hiccuping on me? Um, Jeez. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. So my point is that when you see my background, I'm not a lightweight, and I'm a deep study, and I was a political activist. Okay. So I'll just give you a quick rundown, because what's happening to me with the oppression I'm dealing with. Um, I have another graphic I'm going to show you in a minute to make a point. So, but I just want to show you first, my background, and of course on the program, when you hear the replay, you can stop it and read. But I'll give you the top part. Okay, so A. Micah Hill, Desert Owl, Millersburg, Ohio, USA, a bird who sees in the night, a collector of sacred writings, a mythologist, word etymologist, symbologist, author of the Real Da Vinci Code etymological dictionary, and the first presenter of the original thought within modern diction, author, translator, historian, researcher, radio host, network producer. That was the Real Public Radio. A student of universal law, former political activist, now a spiritual pacifist. Okay, and so there's one of my quotes I use all the time. I came up with that quote when I was on a concrete slab, looking at doing life without mercy. Got framed by the Masonic um, men with tin badges, and the Heavenly Father delivered me from all that. So in 1992, 95, I had my first organization, Council for the National Interest, and that was the antithesis of the Council on Foreign Relations, which really was the real government behind the government, uh, uh, instituting foreign policy in conjunction with the news media. Okay, the at the end of the year, the CFR had a Christmas party with all the different heads from the media: Dan Rather, Tom Brokaw, Peter Jennings, and their family and their kids, and it was called the Interaction of TV News with Foreign Policy. Oh, okay, so they're gonna work out the news to be pro whatever Rockefeller wants, and Rockefeller gets in the Vatican. So it's in their words, always in their word, the names of their things, like the outside the Vatican, the College of Abbreviators, just what they do to your words. They abbreviate them and they named the college after that, 1996, 98, I had United Truckers Defending the Constitution. The acronym was UTDC, also stood for Under Threat, Duress, and Coercion. Okay. 21, 24, that was 9/11, 2001, creator of the following the Lost Phoenician Trail. I did a series. That was when I really, how the world was being run was opening up to me right after my persecution when I was still stuck there in West Virginia. And it took me 2.5 years to escape after I got framed and got the record for the longest case in West Virginia's history, 26 months of torture and being framed by these creeps that committed the crime. 21 through 12, the Forbidden History series and other lost writings, radio program series. Then I did a victim in prison outreach program. We are all doing time. Then I always had the slogan, it doesn't matter whether you're on the inside or on the outside, because we're all doing time. And for some of us, it's hard time, and we're never going to get over the pain. We're just going to have to learn how to deal with it. And I'm surrounded by Freemasons today that literally, gang stalk me and play games with me and threaten me and try to break in and try to run me over. All of these things, do street theater, all of these things, because they are the Communist Party. Okay, they're communists, and they institute all the things that are wrong within our world. We're all doing time. That's describes the program. We help victims. I was a victim advocate. We help people that were in trouble and tried to direct them to other people that could help them, whether it was law issues or food or any, you name it, relocation. Then I did two different health programs. One was called the Ultimate Health Breakthrough, and the other one was called the Ultimate Health Breakthrough, and I forgot the name of the other program. But anyway, yeah, I did two programs, and I met the guy who wrote the Vitamin Bible, and I wrote a song for Goji Berry. I was a former street singer and a musician, and I wrote the song for Goji called Goji Berry, Just Like Wine. Then was founder and creator of Free America Radio Network, also known as the RealPublicRadio.net. Had to cancel that website. I couldn't even afford the $20 a month for the browser after over $40,000 went into it. But my career with that is over. After 6 years of producing, I got taken down. We got infiltrated, got taken down. They discredit you. They say bad things about you, that type of thing. That's how they do it. Destroy the messenger, you destroy the message, Yeah, so you can stop this on the replay because I'm not going to read all that if you want to read more. Example of my other programs that I produced, the Original Gospel of Jesus Christ, that I used to read it on WWCR out of Nashville, Tennessee, on Worldwide International Shortwave, and so it went right around the world. Courtroom Commander with Neil Price, Free Leonard Peltier. I created a program for him as well, the most famous political prisoner in the world. Yeah, totally innocent, but they had to grab somebody to put him in prison just to make the Jewish Fed feel good, That's what they do. Wisdom of the Native Americans, setting the record straight. I did a program for that. Interviewed traditional peoples because they know what oppression is about. They know what the so-called United States government is about, and so they know better than anybody else. The Ultimate Computer Tutor, I produced a computer program, and then the Inside View. Oh, the Inside View on Health was my other program. The Inside View on Health, and then my friend Don, who I produced for the Inside View from Canada. Don did a great job. He's a really good close friend. And then Words That Kill, Symbolism, and the movies. I did a series on that. I think I've have some of those programs. I want to try to find them, bring them on. Additionally, the program schedule used to be visible, not now. And then author of the Real Da Vinci Code Etymological Dictionary, my current project, which is the publishing. And what I am destined to fully accomplish is the most important transliteration of the New Testament within our modern time. And I've been doing that since I've got 30 books on the internet now, on Amazon and Lulu and other on eBay and other venue. And Kipling said the East is West, and never the twain, East is East and West is West, and never the twain shall meet. But as I say, this is no longer true. That thanks to the great Father Yeshua and Yeshua, I can bring East and West together. That's what we have to do. We have to go back because they corrupted all of our Ishavors in the West, but they all come from the East. Okay, I've made major discoveries. I've discovered lost words of John the Baptist. I published one of the several books that John is I found of John, and my previous history is right here. If you want to see a home builder primarily and a cabinet maker, general contractor, and on and on. And so yeah, my name is a spiritual metaphor for one a bird who sees in the night. The desert is the earth. It's barren of any fresh water of truth. And so you really have to go looking hard to find that fresh water. And the Ashavors are the words are the DNA of life. And my old friends, Frederick Earl passed away just prior to the Paradise Fire. His wife lost her home in Paradise and had to relocate. And John Bryant, radio host, longtime friend, who worked with me and did a lot of interviews with me. And my primary bibliography. Let's see if I can scroll this down. So this is just this is not even half the books I've had. This is like only about 10 or 20% really. Just to give you an idea that I didn't just wake up one day and think I know something. I went through the road of hard knocks. I'm what you really call a true road scholar, not roads, road scholar, because I hit the books and paid my dues, ladies and gentlemen. I had to pay lots of money for the rare books that I got, and like I say, you can stop this. I'm just going through it real quick. And yes. Well, should we just abort it at this point then so we can fix it? Oh, well, I mean, my words are not going to be in line with my presentation. Are they able to listen to you? Are they able to hear what's going on so that they're not, they're hearing dead air?
Okay, got my microphone on now. I'm just looking as you uh, do your thing on the screen. I'm just looking to see how much of a delay, so
Yeah.
I can let you know. It needs to match what I'm seeing in the OBS to
Okay.
look okay.
All right.
That's all.
All right. Well, this
Yeah,
is.
it looks okay. It looks okay.
It looks okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. All righty. So
Okay.
we'll try to. Okay, I was going to show one more thing. So let me go back in there. And so I just gave you an example of my background, ladies and gentlemen. To show you that I worked with a retired intelligence officer. He was doing typesetting for my business, my publishing, and then and like he was a photojournalist, a Navy photojournalist during the Bay of Pigs invasion, became a defense intelligence agent, and then became voice at mission control for 2 years, and knew the Apollo 5 astronauts who were murdered in their tin can. So the Heavenly Father always put me at the right place. I've got so many stories, so much experience, and met so many of the founders of the original freedom movement from last century. And they're all gone now, and so I'm like a remnant of that. And but I want to give you an example. So you see, we have um, Ninja has about 600 videos on her Ask Dezert-Owl channel, and I have over 100 on my archive channel, both on YouTube, right? And you see that we have only um, each around 600 subscribers, and people subscribe, but then they don't ever come back, you know. So it's a very small group of people. But this, so we, what? Yes. What has taken a long time to get? Okay. Well, let me make my point. Okay. You want to do the presentation for me? I'm trying to convey something, Ninja. It's not easy to do. Okay. Please. Um, that we have worked for half a decade, over half a decade, to produce something. Okay, a product of information. And so when you look at this guy, right, he's got how many videos does he have? Got three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 16, 17 videos. He's got 17 videos, right? This is what algorithm does. I'm trying to point out what algorithm does. 14 videos when we have each on each of our channels 600, or I have 100 videos and she's got over 600. How many? 700, Ninja? All right, it's about 700. Okay, and so this guy with only 7 videos, 7 on cosmic chronicles, you know, all these sensational, the horror of, you know, all of these sensational topics, right? Outer space, aliens, you know, boogeyman, you know, demons, all of these things that go bump in the night, and he gets 10,000 subscribers with only 17 videos. And that's because he gets algorithm. You see, that's algorithm for you. So technically, if you use that, this example, when we have on our channels, just like I'll minimize that now. I'll go to my channel over here. Okay, I'll go on to well, this is just not the live. Okay, but this is it goes way down. You know, I've got all the stuff, my production on 9/11, you know, telling it the story that nobody else tells. Okay, the third truth that you know, defines how the towers really go down, but nobody still gets it. They still don't. Okay, and then this is my you know, the spiritual side of the live broadcast I was doing all the way down to the flood. Okay, but so we have been doing this for years, and literally we don't, when we go live, we don't get a button out there that's bright red saying, oh, Desert's live now. And so unless we send out notices, or if you're a current subscriber, you know, that's interested, then you'll get it, but there's no promotion. We get no promotion. This is Ninja. You know, this is look at this. Let's keep it going down. Come on, look at this. You see, and where we're conveying you know, the true nature of translations and words, and you know, and I just want people to get it, you know, that that this didn't start yesterday. That I started ancient history at age 14, and so we're talking 54 years for me at that point. 54 of study, not being here. I'm 68. 54 years of study, and so it's very frustrating, you know, when you're trying to produce something that's of quality and helps people, that you got the very people offering you the service doing it to you, if you know what I mean. Okay, and they're happy. They're like little children dancing in the background, you know, that they're putting the screws to us, and that's okay. You know, let them have their fun. I'm sure they feel very important, and and they got their job, and I've got my job, so that's all that matters. I'm going to the Word document now. We're done with that. But I just wanted to give you an example of my background and show you somebody who virtually didn't produce anything, and he gets thousands of listeners, and we don't even get, you know, 100 viewers at one time on our broadcast. And there's a reason, okay? But it's not because we don't know what we're talking about. It's because that other people are playing the game, okay? It's called censorship. It's called getting a black eye, you know? So anyway, here we go. We're on this presentation, and we got 30 minutes left on this broadcast. It's been a trial. We were testing the morning time, and we've got some things to work out. Ninja's got something to do with the coordination of Skype with OBS, and we're going to work that all out for the next program. I'm not sure if we're going to be on tomorrow early again or later in the evening. We'll no, just keep watching the board, okay? And so I was so we're going to work in the letter A on the dictionary. And I don't know why it was posted here. I can't remember now, but let's just go down to the alphabet. I'm going to separate a lot of this stuff and have this document separately for the dictionary because this is a lot of extra stuff. And you can stop it, of course, while I scroll here and then later on. But here's where we prove out that the alphabet from beginning to end, the end starts at the beginning because it begins with the star, the AV, but it's missing the two crucial symbols, the T for the cross, 4 directions and sacrifice, and the Z for the power and the higher and the lower plane. And so it's Zav, and it is the power to save. But so it's the alphabet therefore loops. The beginning needs the end, and the end needs the beginning. You see, and so that just came a couple weeks ago, literally. Okay, and so I'm gonna scroll down here and see where we're at. So I've got an important word that we're gonna Ashavor actually, and we've been away from this now for a few days, so I got to remember my font sizes as well. And 8 elemental PQRST. So I'll use this as my plate here, and I'll bring it down. Come on. Okay, here we go. Control copy, and we're dealing with Adonai, AD, ABCD. That's L. That's A, like the A hyphenate ABCD. Okay, so we're going here. That's 12. Come on. All right, I'll pop that in because this was a big one. This was a big one. Okay, DONAI. So, you know, when the Jewish priests, though they weren't Jewish back then, they were Assyrian. Actually, they were correctly Assyrian. Priesthood came back mixed with the original Judean priesthood because it was a mix now coming back from Babylon, the pretenders, and there was a reference in, I think it's the Chronicles. I'm just off the top of my head. And it said when they numbered the different tribes that came back from uh, Babylon, and in there they gave the numbers, right? And they named the tribe. And so one came back and it was called Azazel, and from the family of Azazel came back 666. Wow. Well, that kind of stands out like a sore thumb, doesn't it? And not that 666 is you know means something bad. It means a star. It means the sun. But it's being used by the occultic, so that's why everybody doesn't want anything to do with 666. But it means a star. And so where are they going with that? Let me take a sip here. Hang on. Oh, okay, yeah. And so Azazel is a scapegoat. That's what the Azazel is. It's a scapegoat, and it's showing you the duality. That's why it's going Azazel, double play. You see, showing the duality that was occurred, the true and the false, coming out of Babylon, the Azazel, the scapegoat. So who's the scapegoat? It's the priesthood. It's the false ones. It's the liars and the deceivers that are pretending to be of the spiritual tradition when they're not. You see, that's what's going on. I got to do one thing. Hang on a minute. All right. Okie doke. All right. So so Adonai means the atom I. Okay, so what am I doing here? The okay, so okay, literal. Okay, I have literally means to add to that. Okay, let me do that this way. literally means the sunrise. For dawn, uh, uh, I'm going to have to abbreviate this. Okay, so we'll have to bump down here. Let's see what we got. 20. That was 22, right? Okay, so we'll bump her all down by 2 and 19. See if that'll work. Because I got something that's going to go on the next line. All right, that worked. Okay, and we'll bump that. That should be a 16, I believe. Okay, and so now on the next line, so Adonai literally means the sunrise because it's the dawn eye. The A is a consonant. It's the first letter of the alphabet. That's why it's lit up, and to make the distinction. And it is the dawn eye. We should hyphenate that. That way it helps see it better. Okay. And so it's the sunrise. The dawn eye is the sunrise. And again, when you realize once I pointed out, you can't miss it. It's clear. It's not hard to figure out. The hard part is to figure it out because it's a code, and most people don't have any clue. I mean, nobody has a clue other than the priesthoods or like Desert, who's been studying this all of his life and and the Heavenly Father's been revealing it to him. So what I want to do now is, that's a 12. I got to go up. Come on. 20. Yeah, 20. And so now we're gonna. So yesterday when I was sharing this with Ninja, was because I just Heavenly Father just let me see it. It's like, how did I miss it? And so as I was showing it to her, then all of a sudden one more thing popped up, and that's going to be the third item here. So this is the correct. So the problem we have is that they're ascribing something to the sacred, but they're using letters that are darkness, letters of darkness. How could you be talking about the great light, the great Father of light, and the illuminated one, and then you're going to use letters of darkness? That's how you read the code, you see. And so when I saw that, I looked at it yesterday. I said, wait a minute. No, it's a T. It's not a D. And then, of course, I've always known and I've known these things, but I never applied it to the word. The only thing I got was the anagram. The anagram, and I'll do that. Boy, there's no room here. I'll tell you. I'll put the anagram up here. Let me do it like this. I'll do something different. I've got to be a little creative because when you put words next to each other in a certain way, it helps you to see it better, and that's what I'm trying to do here. So we'll do it like this, okay? So India, and that is what 1816, okay? It is do it like this. So India is the anagram, and I'm sure you can see that. So maybe I'll go bigger. That way it's yeah, going to spread out more on the word. Okay, so you see the elements of there: I, N, D, and then you could change the vowel. You can add a vowel. That's the rule of the anagram, but you can't miss that. It's in India. When I was doing my Real Da Vinci Code etymological dictionary, that's when that came clear because I was doing the anagram for all the different words, and so I'll go capital with that. So let's look at what it really means literally. In other words, not with the symbols, the correction of the symbols, right? It's like there it was, boom, bada bing, bada boom. Atomai. You see, the atomai. So what they're referring, they don't want to use the term Yahweh, which in the most primitive is the Yavalheim, which means the great mountain of endless fire, reference to the sun. They instead use the Dawnai that's coming up, but the word is literally the atom I. You see, the atom I, and but it would be spelled it's atom A. It's not atom I. It is the atom AY. Okay, and then we'll let me do this. The atom I. Okay, it's for the little, the more modern, right? But what it literally means is oh gee, I better go down one. Okay, I'll do it like this. Huh. Okay, I'm trying to hang on. That's 20, make that 18, make that 16. And forward slash. It's got to be a 16. The atom I, and then great sunrise. I don't think I have room for the. All right, just made it. So the great sunrise. Yeah. And so, but then all of a sudden, when I was showing Ninja, it was like, oh, and look at this, whoa. And so you've heard me talking about this word on here because with the guys who are running the world for the unseen hand, right? Because they print all the money, they can do anything they want, they can go anywhere they want, and going anywhere they want means that they have which basically validates what I'm presenting here. How perfect was that, Ninja, right? I mean, she heard it
Yes.
live right
Yes.
on the phone when we were talking.
Yes. I got
She
it
sees
first.
me make these discoveries, and you got it first?
I heard it
You saw it?
first.
Oh, you heard it first. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering, you saw it first? Wait a minute. What?
No, I heard
All
it
right.
first.
All right.
It's nearly 2 a.m. Forgive me.
All right. All right. So literally autonomy is auto money. I've been using that phrase for the last several months on the broadcast, especially when we did the George Washington, Israeli King George III, and the 3-part series, The Serpent Cult Symbolism of the World's Communist Rulers. Go check it out on Forbidden History Live or Forbidden History Archive on Odyssey, because we wouldn't be able to do it here. But anyway, yeah, so literally there it is. The atom I is the autonomy because what it's implying is sovereignty. You see, it's implying sovereignty because when you print all the money and you make the rules, they don't care. Like Rothschild said, I don't care who makes the laws as long as I get to print all the money. Guess what? They can buy out the anybody. Name your price. I can write you a check. Don't worry about it. Come on. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bump this up. I think that's what I want to do. There should be 16. And we'll make this. Well, actually, it fits better. It fits better that way. I'll keep it that way. Okay, so there it is. There shows you where the word autonomy comes from, ladies and gentlemen. Come from the original word for Adonai, which is the atomai, which means they're claiming the power of the sun. So let me just add that phrase right there. Okay, power. That's why they use 666 because their claim 666 is the number of the sun, of a star, and that's why on the movie they have a program called The Simpsons, but The Simpsons is a cover for the word Samson because they're doing predictive programming on The Simpsons, and so they're really the Samsons, which means the strong man, and Samson literally means the son of the sun. S-O-N, yes, U-N, the son of the sun. So they claim to be the force of the sun while they're really embracing their mother, the moon, the blind eye, the moon in the darkness, and eclipsing the sun called the black sun. So what was I going to type here, Ninja? I forgot. I got talking and I forgot. All right. Let me figure it out. Hang on. I'll get it. I have to go back and listen to it now because I know I said it. Autonomy, power of the sun. That's what it was. Power of sun. I'll do it this way because I may run out of room there. A solar power. There we go. There we go. Okay, a solar power. Yeah, that's what they claim to be. A solar power. And we'll just underline that way. Okay. And so autonomy means you can go anywhere, do anything you want. The power of the sun. Power of, I don't know. I think let me back out of that. I'll just reduce it. That's what I'll do. I'll reduce it. All right, let's fix this. Come on. Oh, you're really going to do it to me, aren't you? Okay. There we go. Power of the sun. Okay. So there you go. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, on the planet, that this is not written anywhere nor spoken anywhere, but that you can see I proved it out. Atomai is autonomy, and it means all power. You print all the money, you got all the power in the world. You got all the resource. You got the cosmic energy. And so now we're going to do another one. Go down to letter B. I'm going to do one letter now as we're getting bigger in the dictionary. I'm going to do one letter in each of the following letters. We've only gotten down to J, K. I think we got K, and that's where we left off. So we're working our way into the alphabet, and I want to now do a B word. That way it's got more variety. I'm going to take a key word that stands out for me, as a highlight, so that you can see it, so that it's not all, just dealing with the letter A or with the letter B, but we'll mix it up a little bit. And so we're dealing with the word Bathsheba. Okay, and that's a B-E, so we're gonna go down here, and that should be a 10. 12? That should be a 12. Okay, no, that's an 11. All right, 1, 2, boom. Okay, and it's got to be 22 now. All right, Bathsheba. Bethsheba. I hope I got that spelled right. I was raised in the communist school, so. Okay, so Bathsheba is correctly, let me go grab from our other. Correctly. Yeah. Bathsheba? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was going to ask you to check it for me. All right, Bathsheba, and she was taking a bath. That's right. Okay. The where was I going with this? The Bathsheba correctly. Okay, correctly. Vath, V-A-T-H, Vath, Esha, Va. Okay, okay, yeah. There we go, Vath, and I'll split it. The apostrophe is just so you can see the components. Okay, Vath, A-S-H-A-V-A-T, Vath Esha Va. So, and this letter T may be silent. Um, Come on, what are you doing? All right. So Vath mean with the H, because the VAT by itself means the serpent, but you are the serpent. Your body is your house, and it's a serpent house. And the sun is a house. The sun is the house of the Great Spirit. In the metaphor, the Spirit's everywhere, but in the beginning, it said in verse 3, of Genesis, that it breathed. The Spirit moved upon the cosmic waters, breathed into the sun, and there is light. Okay, not was light, is light still. Okay, and so Vat Eshava is therefore literally means. I bump this down. How do I want to do this? I want it under the word. That way you can see it positioned better. And that's at 16. That should be 18. Let me bump it up. All right, and it literally means the first house and royal eye. The first house. So the first house, I got to get my color code now going here. All right. So this is the first house. I shouldn't have said the word the. I forgot to when I pasted that. That's come on. It's going slow. What's going on? All righty. So, and we'll do this. Okay. So we'll color code it, and therefore you can see it better than royal eye. This is royal eye, a shava. In Persia, which we talked about in the beginning of the program, it's that it was part of the seed of Shem. The first ruler of Persia was the seed of Shem, Melchizedek, and so the word Shah, we see the Shah there still maintains in Persia the word royal, because they called him the Shah of Iran, and that was the royal of Iran. And so, but the A is the I. That's the primary for the AY. The A by itself is the I. There's a caret. You can see the caret eye. It's expanding out like vision if you turned it over 90 degrees. And so literally, I better bump one time. And then the first house and royal eye, the serpent eye. The words, I'll just leave it without putting it there because it'll be The royal eye. Okay, so we'll do it like this. Of the serpent. All right, like that. The royal eye, the first house, and lower that. Royal eye of the serpent. So this is the royal eye. Now, so the thing is, you see, when we did, we did the alphabet. Remember, the alphabet started with a V, right? So when you see it reversed, here. It means the lower creation, the va. That's the serpent. You see the va. This is a star, and then what projects out is a reverse image. That's what Moses was told on the mountain. He says, "Can I see you? I can only show you my," it said backside, but that's how the priesthood adulterated. But what he meant was, "I can only show you my reverse image," and meaning that everything down here is a reflection of something greater. This is a reversal of something that has a truer form, where we come from in the light. So the va is the serpent, okay? And but this is the cobra. This is the supporting power, and that's why the pharaoh wears the cobra on the headdress, right? So okay, what am I gonna do with that? Get rid of it. Oh, I see why. Okay. All right. So there you go. So the first house. I don't need the word the on there either. Then, if that's the case. Oh well, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, just to express it properly. The first house, and bump that up 19. All right, that made it a little better. And royal eye, first house and royal eye of the serpent. Okay, so and we can bump this down. We'll just leave it there. That's all right. Okay, so we got that one. And so she was the mother of Solomon again, but the first baby died. The first baby had to die. That's the symbolism, meaning the first that is made is not correct. And that's why we have to become the second born. We have to be born a second time into the higher, okay, which is the spirit, which is the light. Our home, where did we come from? Point up there in the sky. We came from the light. Everything came from the light, the planets, the moons. We showed that on, was it the last program, Ninja, 166, where we showed the illustration on our presentation, refuting flat Earth, that the sun gives birth to planets and moons, and that's astounding. It fits the Heavenly Father would let that be known, so that there's no argument. We show it, and thanks to modern technology, otherwise we wouldn't have ever known it. And of course, the ancients knew it. You know. Okay, so the next word we're going to go down to. Okay, actually, this was. Do we do H I A B C D E? Do we do letter E? Wait a minute, what's going on here? We bypassed E. Okay, V H I E is right here. Okay, let me go grab a letter. Come on. Right here. Okay. Okay. Copy. Love this modern technology at times when it works well for you. And go bump it down. No, we'll just do it like this. Control V. All right. And you got one or two there. All right. So this will be E, and E is of the earth. So we don't want it to be gold. We'll just leave it. We'll make it green here. Let's do a dark green. Of the earth. Symbol of the earth. Okay, and that's the letter E. Okay. And the battle, there's a battle going on battle between here's your Adam and Eve, the battle between the spirit and the physical. Okay, and so we've got a 12 there. Good. Let's go down, bumper, go up 22. Okay. So okay. Do you have a short, quick song, Ninja? I got to pour something to drink real quick for my voice. Okay, pour something. Do a quick break. All right, we got a few more words to do, ladies and gentlemen. You want to hear these words? All right. Actually, I forgot. I'm going to define Amen when I get back after I do this one, which is the eagle. I'm going to go back into A and do Amen because this has been blowing my mind for near 50 years, and I finally got it. I finally got it this week. Because amen is not correct, and I'm going to show you when you get back, because it's the occultic again controlling our scriptures, and they put Amen Ra right there, but Amen does not mean the sun. Okay, and so I'll prove that out when I come back. Okay, so we're going to a break, Ninja, right? Alrighty, and glad you tuned in. Hope you're telling your friends. All right, and welcome back to Forbidden History Live, the series on Ask Dezert-Owl and the Original Thought Transliteration Project. We're winding it up now. Ninja's staying up late over there in South Australia, and we need to do the read, and then we'll be done. But I have two words I said I was going to share, so let's go ahead and knock them out real quick. And so the first one is eagle. Okay, and let me get this pillow out from my back. Hang on a minute. Ugh, jeez. Need a new chair. Is what I need. Okay, eagle, and come on. Originally, this will be originally. Copy. Originally. Well, it's original. Okay, so we got a real. What did I just put? I typed Israel. What am I doing? I just messed up somewhere. Control Z, tree, Control Z. Why am I here? All right, now I go back. So I had Israel in there, but I didn't have a definition, I guess is the case. Okay. That's weird. I just noticed that. That's because that's a code. Israel is Ishtar, by the way. Since we're talking, we'll do that tomorrow. Israel is Ishtar. I will show you it's a code for Ishtar, and because it's not Eshere Yulva, okay? It's not Eshere Yulva. And so move forward here. Oh, come on. Come on, don't do that to me. All right, I'll just, I find cut and paste can be easier for me than having to go up and down with these buttons. Wish I could talk to it. Okay, that's 16. Okay, originally. Come on. Okay, and I'd like to put it on the beneath that, I think, because it would be easier to compare when you're looking at it top and bottom. Eagle, original thought. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay, that's the like the literal, but and it would have two L's. There's always two L's. Whenever you see one L, there's another L there. And even when you look at the Hebrew lamed, you'll notice that there's one above, one below, and so that's telling you that. And the duality, once again, it's also two legs walking in the symbolism. And what am I doing here? Okay, I gotta bump that down. Another one. Okay. And so, but literally, there's no G. Number one, there's no G, there's no U, and the E does not represent the highest. Okay, the E is of the earth. That's the lowest. That battle with the A and the E. What I just said, right? And so, literally, the word would be like a, and this will be a 20. Okay, ATZOOL. The Azul. Okay, there doesn't have to be a hyphen in there, and it could be like this, Azul, but we'll do it as a follow, ATZOOL, Azul. Okay, and so you can see how eagle we're used to seeing this type of spelling, but then when we look at the Azul, right? I mean, really, you can see the primitive nature in it. You can see its quality, and the T is silent. So basically, well, we'll do it here. We'll bump her down 2 notches, and we'll bump that down. So the T is silent, and it's and so what? And so let's define it now, right? So what is it? And I'll go one over on this, so it's a little azul. Okay, so that's 18, and this is a what? That's 16. Okay. So the A, so we see the A is what is, in other words, what's the nature of the bird? It flies higher than any other bird. It sees farther than any other bird. So the A is the prime root for the word I, for looking, and it's the alpha, it's the dominant, it's infinite. And then the Zul, the Azul, Zoo, what do you see when you're up there? You see everything. And it makes you, therefore, because you see everything, like an owl that sees in the night of this world, the darkness of this world, the Azul. So you get it, right, Ninja? You can see that, right? I know you've been doing this so long that you're immediately able to resonate with that. It even sounds natural, right? Azul for
Yes.
eagle. You know,
Yes.
there is no G. No G. Sorry. There is no G. It replaced, if you're new, coming in here late, the G replaced the circle and the cross, the third letter of the alphabet. You can see the G has a little bit left on it, a little bit of that cross in the middle, but then it became the C. A lunar from a solar. That's the black sun. That's what they eclipsed. See? So yeah, it's Azul. That's how they spoke back then. This is they put it right in our face. That's the way they do it. They don't. Where are we at here? Okay, so the E. Very good. So I think we covered that one pretty well. And now let's go back up to Amen. Okay, we'll close out with Amen. And
Can I
got
just
some
add one little thing?
yeah, yeah.
Just what you were saying just then, I just want to add to it. The Aisha Vors flow, and they sound beautiful, and they're easier to say, where the words that we have today are more harsh and rigid and not as
Uh,
easy to say.
yeah, like the G sound, g,
Yeah.
g, or j, j, and or like in the Deutsch, it's like that, and that's what they did. You see, that's how they corrupted the word, so we never follow the trail back. And yet, Azul, it just flows right off the mouth. It's not hard to pronounce because it's based on these original root forms, which are pure and simple and not abstract or the those weird sounds, that we're talking about. Yeah. Okay. You see the guttural sounds, that, and you see it in like Russian a little bit, but yeah, that's how they corrupted them. And that's I'll have to maybe I'll tomorrow do the read. Well, that's right. I got that other part 2 to do on the Isat and Asar, but then I want to read those 3 pages of the out of the Oralinda, the legend of the Aryan race, and in there how they talked about they corrupted their language. Use a corrupt word. They corrupted the language, and therefore that's how they. I mean, all one race, Aryan race, but all speak differently. How'd that happen? That was engineered by the Vatican, okay, as the latecomer because they were doing it before the Vatican, but that was the final stop where they created the European nations, right? When they're all Aryan, but they all speak differently. How'd that happen? That was an evolved system that went over hundreds of years and a couple thousand years. So, okay, so we're on the letter A, and so we're going to do Amen. Okay, Amen. And so basically, what they're saying. Okay, we'll say CRUF 4. Oh, no, can't have that. Come on. Okay, it's keyed on that side, so we're up 4. Bump her up. A moon, you see? And so what it's saying is, because the A is the alpha, and we'll bump it up one to highlight it that way, is the alpha. They're saying the A is the moon, but the A is not the moon. It is solar. That let there be light, right? Which is the enlightenment. So what they're saying at the end of important statements in our scriptures, or prayer or whatever, they're saying the A is the moon. The A is the moon. Remember, men, moon, men, man and man means criminal and sinner. Okay? But sin is a word that is abstract, and it replaced the original word, which is darkness, blindness. You see, look at this word, sun. You see, / it, sin. You see, the prime root of both words. Oh, what did I just do? Okay, delete? Boom. They're the same root. You see, and so in other words, if this is regarding the light, then how did this end up regarding the darkness? You see, they took the symbol that was like, for the sun, SON, SUN, you have a star, right? Control Z, Control Z. So they made the sun into darkness. And this is the symbol of the sun. And so it's not the moon. Okay, that's my point. So let's back out of there. And so what is the correct? So what this, they're also, the other way of saying it is the alpha moon, and it's not. It's not moon. Oh, I spelled it wrong. I see that. Okay. Come on. Alpha moon. So what the word should be? What should it be? And it should be, okay, SHOOL apostrophe A. Shular. Shular. There. So when you're done reading a scripture, right? What would you be saying then if you were saying shular? Uh, oh, come on, don't do that. Cut it out. I wish I could talk to this thing. It would really be great. Just tell it, go to 16. Boom. Go to 16. Go to 20. Shular. I thought this was a computer. Okay, correctly. Still bold? Wait a minute. Is that bold? Yeah, they're all bold, aren't they? I'm sorry, I was wrong. No. What's going on here? It's too big. That's why. You can tell I haven't done this for a few days. So, you don't do it every day and you get out of whack here. Correctly. Uh, how do I want to do this? Um, no. Literally, we'll do it like this. Literally. The knowledge of power. Well, okay, so we've got R, and the R symbolizes the royal, so it means the knowledge of royal power. That's what it means. The knowledge. Let's bump it up. All right, I knew it was going to do that. Maybe I'll take that out. Maybe I'll bump you down. Can I do 15? No. Okay, the knowledge of royal power. And so Shular is synonymous with solar, okay? It's the same word. And this is how they abbreviate. Remember, College of Abbreviators, they abbreviate them. Okay? Solar. So we'll color it the way it should be. Shulor is solar. Amen is darkness. Let there be light, right? Shular. So shul is okay. Shular is in Yeshua. But you see, it would be spelled with two O's. That's why you can't see it. Yeshua, we'll do it here. The U is another corruption, false letter, you see? So there's your, as I said with the primitive, it's shul and va, ya, shul, an. I reduce this. I think all this is going to need to come down anyway. 19. And that's going to be 16. Yashulan VAT. That's it. Nope, I can't put an apostrophe in there at the dictionary. Okay, so Shulan Va, I don't even have the L in there. Is, okay, this is what I can do. Okay, I can do this. Okay. L. And then we can put the apostrophe in there. I think it'll work. Oh, there we go. It was, and it's it's Shulan Va is the most primitive. But so you can see Yeshua. Shulan, I'm trying to, if we go with the U here, Yeshua, we see Yeshua. I'll do it that way. Yeshua, and then it's okay, here we go. Yal, Shulan, Va. There's the most primitive of Yeshua. And there's always two L's. Remember that. We're giving illustrations, and there's not even the T is okay, bump that down. T is silent symbol. Yal Shulan Va. So that means Yal is that which goes round. That's the dial. The Yal Shulan, and the Shul is solar, right? That's the sun. That's what's going around. And the sun is the symbol and the image of Yeshua. But in the most primitive, we see the word Shulan. And it means, Shulan means the knowledge of light. Okay? The knowledge of light. And so that's your Shulan. Let me make that, you see how they tricked us by abbreviating words. And then, so now you see the variable forms. Shular, solar is solar, and Shulan. And so an is another word for one. But it's the alpha, it's the primary. And so it's the knowledge of light. That's a 20. Yeah, I think that should be okay. That's one too high. Let's bump that down one. 18. Okay, is the knowledge of light. Okay, so that's the decoding, ladies and gentlemen, of what they've done to us in this great mystery. The knowledge of the and also the knowledge of the light. And I have my note here of the hour. So knowledge of light and time. Of course, but knowledge is all inclusive. Knowledge means everything. You know. And the word knowledge is, we'll have to define that real soon. Knowledge is K Nova Ledger. Let me write it down on a card so I can remember it for the next program. I'm going to try to do keywords. What's that silent K doing on knowledge? Huh? You tell me. So that's what we're dealing with. And okay, so let's get into our read. I don't think I need a break. I think I can roll right into our read now. And then we'll be done for today. We're running late, and Ninja staying up late. I appreciate it, Ninja, for your dedication here. And she's making a sacrifice, but she's gonna be punished by being in the next world, and that's her dedication. And this is what she does. This is what I do. And and you're welcome to call in. You can there's still time to call if you want to talk about any of this. You're trying to figure it out, and you got a good question. Bring it on. There are answers, and the beauty behind the science that I'm presenting here is that it is an exact science, and it's based on knowing the root forms. I got a note here, and I'll probably have to do this tomorrow, is I'll show the prime roots, all the 2-letter roots, and we'll put it under the alphabet P for prime, and then I'll bring on all the 2-letter roots through the alphabet, and then that will help get you to see the prime roots within all of these, just like the 2 O's, you know, that's a vowel. Ooh, that's a vowel. And what in our alphabet, it's not, the vowels being A, E, I, O, and U. No, it's the A, E, I, O, and double O, because it's O and then it's ooh. If you got 2 of them, you see? And in fact, even in Wycliffe, 1382, John of Wycliffe, who gave us the first English translation of the scriptures in Middle English, and in the book of Revelations, it doesn't say I'm the Alpha and Omega. It says I am the Alpha and the ooh. He's literally got 2 words for the end of the alphabet to show you that he knew it back then. But then they changed out the O's into the letter U, and that's where your corruption is. Okay, so we're dealing with the robbery of our heritage. And what this program is trying to do is to bring back the knowledge of our heritage. Okay. And so I got to stop the screen share, and because we're going to go to read. And I'll tell you what, just find the shortest break song or whatever you can do, Ninja. Just give me the shortest break so I can recharge my voice and just set a minute. And wish somebody would call in, but that's okay. We'll get a caller. Bob called in. That was great. Bob called in today. I love to talk to friends out there, and know what they're thinking, what they're wrapping their mind around, because this is it. This is where it's at. Without communication, a terrible thing happens, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing happens without communication. That's the foundation of our being is communication. And so if you don't have that, then you're in trouble. Okay? And what am I doing? I just needed to save my Word document real quick. Okay. Control save. Here we go. My friend who taught me the word, an old rancher, and I said, what do I do, Dale? Do I save it? Yeah, and he says, yeah, I always remember Jesus saves. And so that's how I always remember. You got to save the document. Jesus saves. And all right, so we're gonna do a real quickie, and then when we get back, we're gonna wrap it up with the read one chapter out of the original gospel, a little more of what they didn't want you to know, ladies and gentlemen. Glad you tuned in. Thank you for those gluttons for punishment on trying to wrap their minds around this science. And you did an A and an E. How did you do that? You're gonna have to tell me after the program. Okay, I didn't know you could do that. All right, we're going to a break. We'll be right back.
I'll take mine in gold and silver. Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in southeastern Georgia and Free America Radio Network in the land of dreams, enchantment, and nightmares. It's Money, Banking, and Trust by Moving Titles and Commerce, your solutions-oriented program on public policy, ZYA, BIC, UCC, 1099, OID, mortgages, and trusts with Christian Walters. Well, does anybody really know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen? And does anybody really care? Of course you do. You're tuned in. And it's all because you're right here. Money, Banking, and Trust. Your host, Christian Walters, will be discussing a solutions-oriented program uncovering the hidden root causing all problems under public policy through functioning in commerce, whether out of court or in court, civil or criminal, with the intent of examining the tools available, gaining access to the remedy or solution, how to achieve standing, gaining rights, titles, and interest through claiming your straw man, transmitting utility, vessel on the high seas, total fool, a dupe, a poop, in order to address credit card debt, property foreclosures, IRS tax liens, traffic tickets, arrests, and payments of all bills through private credit using promissory notes, ZYA, and BIC methods with UCC and IRS forms as enforcement, not to mention doing a special on trust and how to put that together. And you know why you need to know that, don't you? It's because we're here, ladies and gentlemen, telling it like it is. And here is where we bring you the most important information on the face of the entire earth or under the earth. Here is where each week we bring you the very best in radio broadcast listening while we reveal the greatest secrets, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here, and the deeper mysteries of life. Yet the one question that will always remain will be this: can you handle the truth as it will be presented here tonight? Well, I'm the producer of the RealPublicRadio.net, Dezert-Owl, telling you that I don't know if you can handle the truth. I don't even know if you want the truth, but we're going to give it to you anyway because that's the kind of people we are, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's got to do it, and that's why we're here. So stand by for the broadcast coming up next. Oh, wait a minute. We got a question. We got a question for you. Trick question, okay? Are you a real American? Have you thought much about it? Do you want to be an American? You know, maybe if you know the real meaning of the word America, you won't want to do that. If it's a Toltec god Quetzalcoatl, a Meroku, the feathered serpent, one who wants to eat you alive, well, it could be. Well, no matter what, you still need to get the only real American magazine that covers the pure issues of law and defense and what's been going down in your backyard for a long time. It's in the air, it's in the water, it's in your mind, it's on the earth. It's not pretty, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. My sponsor now for 13 years, the Americans Bulletin newspaper. Thank you, editor and publisher, Robert Kelly. Did you get a copy? Well, if you didn't, then you need to go to the website, AmericansBulletin.com. That's Americans with an S, because there's more than one of you out there. AmericansBulletin.com, or call 541-779-7709. That's 541-779-7709. And thank you for your support. Tell Robert Kelly I sent you, because the time, it is short, and it's shorter than you think, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't think it's time, then just hang on, because it's the midnight hour. And it's what they didn't want you to know that we're telling right here, 7 days a week on the RealPublicRadio.net. Member supported, and that means you. Free America Radio Network. Did you tell your friends? Get on that phone right now. You still got time. Monet. Sounds like a painting. You were never in the race. Because you were drunk. Falling down flat on your face because you didn't give a damn. That's what I just said. That's okay, because you're sobering up, aren't you? Because you're tuned in right now, aren't you? Every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You want to know why? Just hang in there. Because we've got the scoop, we got the poop right now, ladies and gentlemen. You're waiting. Is now going to be fulfilled, because we are here. Bringing you Money, Banking, and Trust by Moving Titles and Commerce, your solutions-oriented program with your host, Christian Walters.
All right, and welcome back to the last segment of Forbidden History Live on Ask Desert Owl and the Original Thought Transliteration Project, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure. I have to get with Ninja on this on the side, so we're just check our program schedule, on the About page or on the Live page on Ask Desert Owl, and see what timestamp is there for the next program. It'll either be tomorrow 9 a.m. Eastern Time, or it could be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We'd like to do it when it's best for everyone, and so I'm hoping we can do it back at 7 again. Ninja's been working on the bugs and may have it worked out. So just like I say, just monitor our program schedule, okay? And let me just get a sip here, one more sip of my hot drink. Yeah, if you don't keep talking, you lose your voice when you get up in the late 60s. And and what was I going to say? Oh, I'm on the aluminum. I forgot. Figures. All right. So we're in the original gospel. The original gospel, which is misnomered as the Aquarian gospel. That sounds really new agey, you know. So that's why when people hear that, they say, "Oh, that's the new age stuff. I don't want to hear that." But you know, you can't comment on something unless you've read something, you know. And then you can comment on it because you actually know. It's not, um, you know, no guesswork. Okay, it's like I know what it is. So, um, and so therefore, this is actually the source. This is so much dynamite in here, and and it's you know, unlike a lot of the other lost writings that have been corrupted in different ways. The elements of corruption in here are like they use the word Jew. You know, okay, well there is no Jew 2,000 years ago. The word Jew didn't exist till the 1700s, and you know Jesus, you know he's you know that's also given to us by the Jews because there is no J, and Jesus is a negative slur when you know the meaning of it. And I hate to be bringing bad news all the time, but Yeshua, that's knowledge. See, we just did the word Yeshua with the word shular, and so the word you know for Amen is shular. I mean the knowledge of fire, the knowledge of power. All of those things are in that. The royal knowledge, the knowledge of the royal, of the one, you know, all of that's in there. Knowledge of the serpent, and where was I going with that? Okay, so the point is that this document, you know, has you know the terms that are wrong, like in you know, and for people it's man and men, and that's you know criminal and sinner out of the Talmud, right? So the modern form of communication that we use is corrupted. So the corrupt words are in here, but most people would see it as regular, but it's the story that's in here. You know, it's the storyline. That's what's really exciting. And I transliterate while I read. So as we're revealing the original words, as I read, incorporate. I typically do a modern, or I'll do the original first, and I do a / modern, so that you can hear both. Okay. So anyway, we're in chapter 10 out of 182 chapters. This is the biggest gospel on the planet, basically. So chapter 10, Elihu taught. They're still in Meitzar, falsely called Egypt. Mary and Zulei Shavat, Meitzaraim, Mary, and Zulei Shavat, Elizabeth, and they both have their sons there, and they're studying under the feet of Shalome and Elihu. Okay, and so they're staying safe for about 3 years until they go back to Judah and also Galilee. Okay, so chapter 10, Elihu plowed and planted seed. That's taught. Plowed and planted seed. Remember, if you put your hand to the plow, right? Remember, you put your hand to the plow. That's plowing and planting seed, and that's taught, being taught. And teach is seed planter. Teach is seed planter. Taught is plowed and planted. You can see the word augur there. It's augering. Elihu taught. He breathed. In ancient times, the people in the east were worshippers of Elohim, God, the one whom they called Brahm. Their laws were just. They lived in peace. They saw the light within. They walked in wisdom's ways. But priests with carnal agendas rose up, who changed the laws to suit the carnal mind, bound heavy burdens on the poor, and scorned the rule of right, And so the Brahm became corrupt. So the word Brahm from Brahmin literally means the sovereign. So it was the sovereign Aryan race that was legitimate and pure, and then the fallen ones, the fallen, what they call the Watchers, the Vekoresh in the original, the Vicars in the Vatican, Watchers, Vicars, Vekoresh. You see how they were very similar but different, and so they were corrupted. And so Brahm is from the word Avram. It's Avram, and that's sovereign. And the Avram is the star ram, and it's corrupted into Brahmanism. They're fronted by Hinduism, and then from Hinduism it goes to the Vatican, and then you got the Jewish front. Okay, taking orders from the Hindu for the Brahmin. Okay, so but in the darkness of the age, a few great mother stars stood up, unmoved, and they loved the original title of Brahm. Now, this idea of the Brahm and the sovereign, the star, means the one who made all things, not the priesthood. So that's the distinction here. I'll try that again. But in the darkness of the age, a few great mother stars stood unmoved. They loved the title of the star ram, the sovereign. They were great beacons of light before the world, and they persevered in violet the wisdom, and they preserved inviolate the wisdom of their only true anointed Avram, the sovereign. And it could be reflecting on Adam as well in this story. And you may read this wisdom in their sacred books. And book would be shofar, not Bible. Remember, how come if Bible means book and it doesn't mean Babel, how come we don't call every book a Bible? And because the original word is shofar, that means knowledge from afar, the knowledge of fire. That's shofar. That's also the ram's horn. That's also the scribe, the shofar. Okay, many meanings in one word. So, and the Chaldee, and in Chaldea, the Brahm was known, the sovereign was known, a pure, pious Brahm named Terah lived in Ur, and his son was so devoted to the Brahmic faith. It's not Brahmanism in that sense. You see, don't get confused with the word. The Brahmic faith, that he was called Abram. You see, but there is no B, as we point out in the alphabet. It's a V, so it's Avram, and so who we call Abraham, and he wasn't a Ham. Go figure. They're going to call him a Ham. That's your Jews playing the game on us with the translations. How could he be called a Ham when they couldn't eat pork, right? But it's actually Avram Haim, the sovereign. Abram is Avram, the sovereign. So the father of the tribe of Israel is called the sovereign. It's not a name, it's a title. Try it again. So, and in Chaldee, the Avram, the star ram, was known. A pious sovereign named Terah lived in Ur, and his son was so devoted to the Avram sovereign faith that he was called Abram, and he was set apart to be the father of the Hebrew race. Now Terah took his wife and sons and his flocks and herds and to Haran. See, they took the K or the C off of Haran, but it's correctly Quran, and it means from the light. He came from the light in the west. And his flocks and herds, he took them into the west, the same way the sun goes. And here Terah died. And Abram, the Avram, the star ram, took the flocks and herds, and with his relations journeyed further west. And when he reached the oak of Morah, in the land of Canaan, he pitched his tent, and there he lived. A famine swept the land, and the sovereign took his relations and his flocks and herds and came into Meitzar, Egypt. And in these fertile plains of Zoan, he pitched his tent, and here he stayed. And Ashan still marked the place where the sovereign lived across the plain. You ask why the sovereign came to Meitzar, Egypt land? This is the cradle land of the initiate. All secret things belong to Meitzar, Egypt land. And this is the why the mother stars come to hear the mysteries. In Zoan, Avram taught, plowed, and planted seed in his science of the stars, and in the chakra temples over there, he learned the Vesha Tom, the wisdom of the Vesha, the wisdom of the wise. And when his lessons all were learned, he took his relations and his flocks and herds and journeyed back into Canaan. That'd be Zenun, correctly. That's the seed at high noon, the fiery seed at high noon. And in the plains of Mamre pitched his tent, and there he lived, and there he died. In records of his life and works of his Zan, his sons, and of the tribes of Ashereuva, Israel, all were preserved in Judean sacred scrolls, shofars. In Persia, the sovereign was known and feared. Ashan saw him as the one, the causeless cause of all that is, and he was sacred unto them, as Tau to the dwellers of the farther east. The people lived in the Shalom of peace, and focusing light, justice, ruled. But as in other lands, in Persia, priests rose imbued with self and self-desire, who outraged the natural force and intelligence and love. Religion grew corrupt, and birds and beasts and creeping things were set apart as deities. In the course of time, a lofty shul, that's soul, that's knowledge, the place of knowledge is the shul, the soul, whom there, in the course of time, a lofty shul, whom Ashan called Zarathustra, came in the flesh. He saw the causeless ace spirit, high and in the eye of the return lifted up, and he saw the weakness of all Ashan appointed deities. He spoke, he sparked, and all Persia gave an ear. And when he breathes, one Elohim, Zulafhaim, one God, one people, and one shrine, the symbol of the sun, the altars of the idols fell, and Persia was redeemed. But Ashan need to see their Zulafhaim Elohim with earthly eyes, and so Zarathustra breathes. The greatest of the winds, the ace spirit standing near the throne of the sun, is Ahura Mazda, who manifests in brightness of the sun. And all the people saw Ahura Mazda in the sun, and they fell down and paid homage unto him in the temples of the sun. And Persia, and before I go further, I just want to realize, because I know the prejudice that has been put upon everyone, I'm going to take you to the verse in Revelations, okay, just to help you out if you're new to this broadcast. And that's why we have a call-in program also to help. But right here in chapter 19 of Revelations, verse 17. And I saw an angel standing in the sun. This is Lamsa's version from the East, George Lamsa, 1933. And they wouldn't publish his translation the way he wanted it. So he said, okay, you make the changes you want, and we'll go with that. But literally, right here it says, and I saw an angel standing in the sun. The angel is royal messenger. There is no word angel. It's Malik. And so this angel or Malik is the royal messenger. And who is the royal messenger? It is Yeshua, the Savior. He's the one who's standing in the sun. And it's probably more correctly should be rendered, he was sitting on the throne of the sun. You see? So because everything came from the light, we have to go back to that light. It's an image, it's a symbol, it's a logo. It's not something to worship. And the traditional natives, I used to do a program called The Wisdom of the Native Americans, and they one of the tribal leaders said they say that we want to worship the moon and we worship the sun, but we don't worship the moon or the sun. We recognize that the sun is the portal, is the door from which we came to be. And so we need to go back through the light. Okay, so I wanted to make that point here, because people will always find way to criticize or to tear things down, and you have to see it within the reality that we live and what the original writings were breathing, because it's all there. Okay, so 25, and all the people saw Ahura Mazda in the sun. That's what I just read. And they fell down and paid homage to him in the temples of the sun. So the Zoroastrian tradition, they pray before the fire. And they will tell you that they don't pray, they're not praying to the fire, they are praying through the fire. Because we came from the fire, and therefore we have to go through the fire again to go back. And that was so they wouldn't forget, you see, because it's symbolism, it's symbolic. So all the people saw Ahura Mazda in the sun, and they fell down and worshipped him in the temples of the sun. And Persia is the Magian land where lived the priests who saw the star rise up to mark the place where Mary's son was born. Those were the people who went and gave gifts to our Redeemer, who followed Zoroastrianism. Okay, Zarathustra, what I'm just reading. Okay, and so who marked the place where Mary's son was born, and were the first ones to greet him as the Prince of Peace. And the precepts and the law of Zarathustra are preserved in the Avesta. That's the star. That Avesta is the star in the east. So it literally just said that the precepts of the law of Zarathustra are preserved in the star of the east. That's what it means in the original form, in the idea, from the light back to the light. But the Avestas are also a collection of books, but it means come from the light, the sun, from the star. The precepts of the law of Zarathustra are preserved in the Avesta, which you can read and make your own. But you must know that the Eshavors, the words, are nothing. They are dead until they are made alive again, we should add. Again, until the lessons they contain become a part of the head and of the heart. And of the hand, we should add. Now, truth is one. Truth from the tree's root is one. But no one knows the truth from the tree's root until he is the truth from that tree's root. It is recorded in an ancient book, the Shulfar, knowledge from afar. Truth from the tree's root is the leavening power, the resurrecting power of the great Zul of Haim. Truth. It can transmute the all of life into itself. And when the all of life, the Avatrain life, is truth, then the Yeshan is truth as well, ladies and gentlemen. And you just got the forbidden history of what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here because somebody's got to do it. I'm Desert Owl, thanking you for stopping by, and I hope that you'll tell your friends about the broadcast. If you have comments or questions, you can always call on the side. You can't afford the book, give me a call. We'll get you the books on PDF. We're working on getting a pocket version of the Book of Wisdom so that we can make them available even for free for people in prison. We're working on that. We welcome your support. We're here to serve. And so I just want to thank you again for tuning in. And remember, if you want to know the future, then you simply need to look for the forbidden history, because it's all right here coming your way somewhere out there 7 days a week. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. Of course, because somebody's got to do it, and I'm just that glutton for punishment. Love doing it. Hope to hear from you real soon. We'll see you.
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils, catch the breeze and the winter chills in colors on the snowy linen land. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze, reflect in Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue. Morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain, are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night, portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met, the ragged men in ragged clothes, a silver thorn, a bloody rose, lie crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you tried to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never